Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday, December 12th, 2020. Opening up the show with some shocking and disturbing news out of Austin, Texas. Head basketball coach Chris Beard arrested and charged with assault on a family or household member. If you read the report, it's identified as a hotshot incident, which means that there is a direct, immediate threat to life. And to the victims, we hope that you are safe and healing. And it's kind of thrown this morning's show disjointed. But we have plenty of NBA action to get to. Lots over the weekend, including the fall of the Raptors to the Magic and a back-to-back in Orlando, where we asked the question, what the hell is wrong with the Raptors? The Pelicans beat the Suns in a home back-to-back, 129-124 last night, beat them Friday pretty badly. Zion Williamson MVP. Buzz is going to happen. I tried to warn you last week, and yet you did not listen. Thou protested, and now thou will have to listen to the 6 out of 12 bear down with some Zion Williamson love. The Lakers survived Detroit. We got the Kings losing to the Knicks, Sixers, and Joel Embiid in a 53-point game. Plenty more to talk about, and we'll be back in about 30. As always, please like and retweet the show card. We're brought to you by slamgoods.com. Head over to slamgoods.com. You can use promo code HoopSpace to save 15%. Be back in 30. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Lots to get to in the world of basketball and NBA and college, beyond the reports out of Austin, Texas. So we want to make sure that we get everything that we possibly can in this Monday, December 12th edition. I have yet to track down the exact number of episodes yet, but I can tell you this, it's over 270. So shout out to you and a round of applause to everybody who makes any part of their day part of our day here on Hoop Spaces, the best NBA and basketball daily show here on Twitter. Make sure you once again shout out the creators that are here. We'll be bringing up Justin right now because he's got like a 10-minute window to talk about some more success that we have had here on Hoop Spaces. Good morning, Justin. To those down below, if you haven't checked out JP the Franchise on YouTube, head over to YouTube and subscribe to the JP the Franchise YouTube page, and also subscribe to the YouTube page for Hoop Spaces because over this weekend we had a success, and it's been due to the hard work of Justin. We hit 100 subscribers, so everybody give a shout out to Justin. And if you are a content creator such as Jose from 77 Spaces, Sean with Live from the Mecca, we've got a couple others who have been interested, such as Evan and Casino popping in here. If you want that success, like all you have to do is reach out to Justin, and he will tell you exactly what we are looking for in regards to these reaction videos, and we can get you on our YouTube page to help you build your content along with us, building a better basketball world. So to me, I just want to make sure everybody hears Justin. Justin, thank you for coming aboard and working diligently. I know the hill is large. I know we're going slow, but man, I'm impressed with the work you've been able to do. Thank you very much from me to you. Absolutely riveting. I expected nothing less. Everybody give Justin a round of applause as apparently his mic decided not to work.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
Sorry about that. I was trying to speak and all that, but the Bluetooth and all that is just like not working and everything. So, but good morning, Hoop Spaces. Thank you so much, Chris, and everything. Since I joined Hoop Spaces, y'all been nothing but great to me, and we always all like a family and all that, and we talk basketball all day, and we try to grind every day and try to do everything we can to get our names out there and talk about basketball because we're passionate about the game and everything. And since I came aboard, y'all been nothing but respectful and great to me, and I really appreciate letting me come on and all that. But yeah, if y'all have any content, if y'all have anything that y'all want to put on the Hoop Spaces in terms of basketball and everything, please reach out to me and DM me. We're able to give everybody flowers. We're trying to expose people because everybody got really good basketball tape still in the Hoop Spaces. So please reach out to me if you're very interested in content and everything.
All right, and look, it's not hard. All right, like all you have to do is head over to JP the Franchise's YouTube channel right now, and well, not right now, but after the show, and see exactly what he does. And in fact, if you subscribe to the review, which if you haven't, you should, he's been featured in there several times, as has Jonathan Harris, who is behind Sundays is for basketball, and it's not hard. It's 2 minutes to maybe 8 minutes, depending upon how you want to do it, how detailed you want to do it, and we will get it up there if you just follow, you know, Justin's simple formula. Up on stage, we've added Brooklyn Netcast and also Joe the Historian. If you're down below and you want to come on up, go ahead and raise those hands. Do us the favor, like and retweet the 3 tweets that are currently up there. You've got the show card. You've got our schedule for tonight on Playback TV, our new partner, which will be there at 8:30. Now, I'm going to give you fair warning. I will probably likely just be living swimming practice. So it's going to be absolutely interesting how this works. But tonight at 8:30, we're going to start with the Dallas Mavericks hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder. I will probably be more live at around closer to 9 o'clock as I get home. But I will have the room open. Come on up and join in the 77 Spaces movement. With the likes of Jose, Rolo, and Jazz, and fans like, Jaslyn. You got SJ Basketball, who's a dope follow here on Twitter. You've got Shako and also Micah. And we'll talk some Shea. We'll talk some Luca while also checking out the games around the league. Shout out to Sean with the W, as he was there on Clubhouse when we did Game Time. When I did Game Time, we are bringing that format back, but being able to live stream the game while talking basketball. So tap in tonight at 8:30. And then, of course, look, I took the weekend off for the review. It's our daily newsletter. Listen, I'm doing this, and I am trying my hardest to do it every day. But I had to get up at 5 for an all-day robotics tournament that didn't see me get home until about 8 o'clock. So I just could not do it. I could not mentally or physically get the energy to do it for Saturday or for Sunday. But we are back today, better than ever. So make sure you sign in to the review. All you need is an email address. Pop it in there. It is 100% free. You'll get your game recaps. You'll get your news and notes that I view from around the league. And then also you'll get player interviews from the likes of C. Hendo, which is our boy Chris Henderson, Mike Scotto. Earlier in this issue, we have Yossi Goslin of Hoops Hype. He broke down the trade value calculated and a whole bunch of other stuff planned in the future. So there you go. My 9-minute opening, as always, brought to you by slamgoods.com, sponsoring us through season 2 with promo code HoopSpaces. We'll get the tweet up at about the 10:30, 10:45 mark about today's special over at slamgoods.com. Use promo code HoopSpaces, save 15%. If you miss any of the episodes, you can go to YouTube. They will be up there usually within 24 to 48 hours, powered by audiolabs.io, our other partner helping us produce this content. And then also watch playback. Make sure you shoot them a follow, because as we grow, the next step is to be able to make sure the likes of Jose, Rolo, and Jazz, who've been putting in this hard work for the Mavs, also will be able to start their own playback and start possibly making some money, because that's what it's about. It's about chasing a passion and a dream and making it sustainable. And I just want to say, from me to all of you who are listeners, thank you, because without you coming in every day, we don't have this opportunity for Justin to succeed. We don't have this opportunity for Sean to succeed at Knicks Film School. We don't have this opportunity for my man Cedric, who I met through Sean. And I'm grateful every day for Sean being in my life as a partner here, right? We don't have this. Like Brooklyn Netcast doesn't have his success without this. and it's just an amazing experience to be able to share it with all of you. All right. One last thing. I we've designed the hoodies and T-shirts and stuff, but it's not going to get here till the 15th. I'm going to look at it, and if it's good, we will launch the hoodies and all that stuff, the merchandise, after January 1st. Just because I know it's holiday season, and I don't really want to impact saying, hey, help support us by buying this merch. No. Take care of yourself and family first. We will still be here. Like, we've been here for 270 plus shows. We will continue to be here. Also, we will launch the Patreon starting next month as well. We're just only going to make it one limit. It's $10. Get down to support. You can always donate more. But if everybody could, donate 10 at the beginning of the month with Patreon, I guarantee you, as we continue this season, we will end up being more successful than ever before, regardless of what the NBA decides with their Launchpad program, which brings me to the close of my opening. I submitted a proposal to the NBA via the NBA Launchpad program, hoping to become an official partner with the NBA. I shall get a determination sometime this week, is what I've been told, on whether or not I will be part of the NBA Launchpad program. I was hoping that it would come by last Friday, but hey, I'm not going to lie. I'm about as anxious as I was for my first deployment in the military. And if I stutter a little bit more, it's more so simply I'm looking at people down below, because I'm starting to be told who's on whose burner. And like, there's some heavy hitters that do actually come in here. So I want to give a shout out to you for doing your job, scouting the talent. May I present Brooklyn Netcast, Jay the Wakandan, Sean with the W, Jose. Shout out to Rels Pels, who can't make the show this morning. She's dope. Check her on the Believe Network, Pels and Whistles podcast. Look, we are all about everybody eating. That's what I said when we started. That's how we live every day. All right. There we go. We'll go ahead and go around to good mornings. We'll say first good morning to Caleb. It's been a minute. Caleb, good morning. How you doing?
Good. I'm just finishing up my third semester in college, so I'm going to have a lot more free time to be in hoop spaces now. I'm switching to online as well because I only have 3 classes next semester. So, yeah, I'll be in hoop spaces more often. It's exciting. I'm very happy about that. But how you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing good, man. And congratulations to you. Almost 25K, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of follows. Oh, yeah. He is down and in Brooklyn Nets Twitter. Big ups to you, man. Like, seriously, that's hard work. Good grind.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll go to Jay the Wakanda next. Jay, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Shout out to Harry Kane for going full Tottenham. Shout out to Richmond, Virginia for tearing down the last Confederate statue in the city. And shout out to Grambling State with the best basketball program in the state of Louisiana. Good morning.
Good morning. And I tell you what, that's probably not hyperbole, because LSU is struggling, and they weren't supposed to. We'll go next to 6 of the 12, and I'm just going to let y'all know, I am warning you that he had the foresight to reach out to me this morning or last night and say, hey, I got some propaganda to spew. And I'm going to let him do it because I tried to warn all of you about Zion Williamson in this MVP campaign that's about to get up and running. Ladies and gentlemen, say good morning to 6 of the 12.
Hey, good morning, Chris. I want to give a special good morning welcome to Brooklyn Netcast because I was blocked on his account until about 5 minutes ago. So I don't know what I.
Yeah, I don't know why you're blocked.
I don't know what I did, bro. But
I don't know either, honestly. Yeah, I was looking. I'm like blocked. I don't know why you're blocked at all.
It's all right, buddy. But no, good morning, Chris. Yeah, I'll get to the propaganda in a little bit, but the Pels are the deepest team in the league. That's all.
Now, we heard that before, just re-reference Atlanta Hawks fans. We have Sir Denny Blanco, the NBA's whisperer at Ball is Life and on TikTok. Denny, good morning.
Yeah, Chris. Good morning to everyone. Shout out to you, Chris, for doing the excellent job of giving us a place to talk our talk. We appreciate you. Appreciate everybody here. Zion keeps playing like that, and the Pelicans keep winning. It's going to be very difficult. And notice something, Chris. Correct me if I'm wrong with Zion, and I'll leave the floor back to you. Zion is doing no jump shots. He's shooting no jump shots. Do you notice that?
Yeah, like I put it out yesterday, like the dude is hitting transition threes. If I were to go back and I look at the shot chart, I think if you take the 3-pointers out, he's probably at a low of 2 jump shot attempts per game. Attempts. Like just attempts.
He's realizing where his bread is buttered. And yes, the Pelicans are very, very deep. The floor is back to you.
Appreciate it. Check Sir Denny Blanco on the Ballers Life Network, a basketball geek, and make sure you choose to view his TikToks. And like we'll be pushing in over there, and I'll be reaching out to get him aboard in the future. But hey, I'm a very methodical person to the annoyance of some. Shout out to Hoop Spaces Ryan. Could not do what I do without his help. And even Sean probably looks at me sometimes and be like, bro, if you just did this, my apologies that I'm just so stubborn. We'll go to Micah Clark next. Micah, good morning.
Good morning to you, Chris. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I've been better. I'll tell you what, hey, we do need to get something to get our fellow members of 77 Spaces paid, because I'll tell you what, it is a job watching this team right now. Holy cow. But anyways, outside of that, you know what? We can call it propaganda, but let's be honest about it. The agenda's kind of there. Best player on the number 1 seed. Second option missing significant time. I don't know. The narrative's there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into the narratives because it's going to get pretty heavy pretty quickly. And I tell you what, like Jason Tatum doesn't have a lot to like be upset about, but I guarantee you he's going to be upset at this because he's having a phenomenal season and he's about to not be spoken about in the same way despite doing the exact same thing. It's going to be hilarious. We'll go to Joe the historian for the last bit of our good mornings. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Hey, I just want to say you're a good dude, man. Like I see how you like shouting out the show content and stuff like that. Y'all want to grow together. That's a good dude right there. Did you tell me about the Maryland women's basketball team? Was you the one hyping them up?
I cannot confirm nor deny whether I was hyping them up, but I was saying that they are a good team.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna tell you what I did with that information, but it helped me out this weekend. I had a good weekend, so I just want to say good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning, Joe, and shout out to those Lady Terrapins. That was the only game that I watched from start to finish, college or pro. They defeated the Evil Empire, the UConn Huskies, 85-78 at College Park at the Xfinity Center.
I just gave you a compliment. You had to call my girl something. Did you really? No.
Bro, the hate runs deep with Batman and UConn. Like, they are the same. They are the same. Shout out to everybody. And what Joe said, like, shout out to me, right? Like, we grow together and stuff. Look, when I started this, that's exactly what I said. Like, I was tired with the selections that were available to me to view basketball the way I wanted to view basketball. And, like, lo and behold, I found other people who felt the same way. And throughout the course of the emergence of social drop in audio, I just was fortunate enough in my life experience to understand the potential and the opportunity here, regardless of the success I personally have. And the key factor in all this is you can't be successful alone. Like, no matter how hard you try or you think you can, you will never be successful alone. The only thing you can be successful alone in is making your bed, brushing your teeth, and wiping your butt. Like, that's it. Everything else in life usually takes more than one person. And, like, even what I just said, people still make the sheets. People still make the toothpaste, and people still make the toilet paper, right? Just think about that as you go about your daily life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get to these scores because there is a lot of them. We will go back all the way in time to Friday night. Friday, December the 9th, saw the New York Knicks actually fare well against those Atlanta Hawks, 113-89. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Charlotte Hornets, 122-116. The Magic beat the Clippers, 116-111. Keep that in the back of your mind, ladies and gentlemen, about the Orlando Magic. We'll talk about that later. The Toronto Raptors beat the Los Angeles Lakers 126-113, but this is a game which LA sat LeBron and AD. And I now ask the question after the weekend, what would the Raptors be thinking had they played AD and Bron and the Raptors lost? Because this is bad.
Chris,
the Bulls,
not to interrupt, but I think
Yeah.
did you say that's Friday?
yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the Nets played.
Sorry, that was Wednesday. My bad.
Hawks.
My
Yeah,
bad. Yeah, I went back too far. Good catch.
We put a random Friday.
I was gonna say.
Knicks beat the Hornets 121-102 on Friday, 121-111 Pacers over the Wizards. Magic over the Raptors 113-109, 120-116 Nets over the Hawks. Kings over the Cavs 106-95. Sixers over the Lakers 133-122. Grizzlies over the Pistons 114-103. Pelicans beat the Suns 128-117. The Timberwolves beat the Jazz 118-108, and the Bucks were victorious over the Mavs 106-105.
Just 10 seconds. I thought that the Pelicans beat the Suns 124-120.
120
128,
117 on Friday night.
Oh, on
Yeah,
Friday. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I just remember the Pelicans beating the Suns twice. I didn't realize they
Yeah.
were 7 days. My bad.
No, don't worry. I messed up too because I was looking at some info Wednesday when I was writing stuff up and I forgot to move off the page. Saturday, the Spurs beat the Heat in an absolute miserable matchup. It was so bad. I don't know if any of you watched this. I'm also in a Heat group chat. Shout out to the pool party. The best group chat that I'm in. It's hilarious. But it wasn't hilarious Saturday night. I can tell you that much. I can't tell you how happy I am for Romeo Langford, who's had a vagabond existence in the NBA, but I can't begin to explain how sorry I am for Miami Heat fans. The Nets beat the Pacers 136-133 in the game of the night. Cam Thomas, 33 points, Tyrese Halliburton, 35-9. And I'm telling you, these Nets are different now. And I think the biggest issue is that they've been able to achieve balance despite Jacques Vaughn's interesting coaching decisions. The Clippers beat the Wizards 114-107. The Cavs up in the Thunder 110-102. The Bulls put 144 on the Mavs. Yeah, I said that right. The Bulls put 144 on the Mavs, 115. The Warriors beat the Celtics 123-107. Nuggets beat the Jazz 115-110. And the T-Wolves outlast the Timberwolves. Sorry, the Trailblazers outlast the Timberwolves 124-118. And then last night, in yesterday's matinee game, 129-124, Pelicans win the back-to-back over the Suns. Lakers beat the Pistons 124-117. Knicks victorious 112-99. Shout out to the New York Knicks, the first and only team to hold the Sacramento Kings below 100 points. Boom. Bet you didn't know that. The Magic beat the Raptors in the second game of the back-to-back, 111-99, in a game that started to question people's thoughts about how the locker room might be viewing Nick Nurse, as well as the rumored off-the-court issues with Fred VanVleet. And then people started openly asking what's wrong with Scotty Barnes. Joel Embiid, 53 points, becoming only the third Sixer with Wilt Chamberlain and Allen Iverson to have multiple 50-point games in a season, and joining Wilt Chamberlain as the only Sixer to have multiple 40 and 10 games in the season as well. I think it was like 4 or more. The Hawks beat the Bulls 123-122. AJ Griffin once again with a game winner. That is 2 in his rookie season. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then the Rockets take advantage of a Chris Middleton ankle twist on an emotional win as head coach Steven Silas was out due to the passing of NBA legend Paul Silas. I was fortunate enough to meet Paul Silas once. And when I say that, you know, people have a gravity to them, right? He was one of those people. He was very humble, soft-spoken, but he spoke with an intelligence that allowed you to sit back and just listen. I want to wish my personal condolences to Stephen Silas and his family and the greater NBA family on the passing of Paul Silas. Phenomenal player, phenomenal man, great father, a great coach, and a great ambassador for the NBA. All right, there we go. We did 26 minutes. We got our hellos. We did the scores. We will now go to basketball. But up first, we will go to JB Fortis, as I believe he has a rant. We'll hit up Caleb, the Brooklyn Netcast right after that. Then we'll get Joe, and then we'll start going around the room, and we'll clear way for the takeoff of the Zion Williamson Express for 6 out of 12. And then I'm going to allow him to do it with the I told you so, because I told you so. It's that scary, y'all. JB, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I actually have a Paul Silas story very quickly, if I may, before I get into my rant.
Sure.
I actually was coached once by Paul Silas in high school basketball. He had his son Steven played in Cincinnati when I was growing up, when I was in high school. He came down and Paul coached a game, and I got to play under his tutelage. He was a great guy. I mean, he knew how to speak, sort of understated, but also like with force. I don't even know if I'm saying this right? Because you would think like understated means like man, a few words, but no, everything he gave was just sort of very. It was very direct without making you ever feel like you were being attacked. So yeah. Anyway, that's my very quick story. I'm sorry for this loss. All right. So I'm here for everybody's Celtic smoke. And before I get into my full-throated defense of the Celtics, I take nothing away from the world's greatest 8th seed. I mean, it's incredible that the Warriors beat the Celtics. It's almost as amazing as the Houston Rockets beat the Milwaukee Bucks. And it just goes to show you that at any given night, something crazy can happen in the NBA. Who knows? Maybe if you're missing Al Horford, Robert Williams, and Kevon Looney only has to work against a minimum salary Blake Griffin and doesn't have to work against Luke Cornett, because apparently Luke Cornett can't hang with the Warriors and is too busy jumping out on screens, then maybe you too will have an offensive rebounding advantage that's kind of ridiculous. Take nothing away from the Warriors. Also take nothing away from the Celtics. You know just as good as I do that Jason Tatum doesn't usually miss layups like that. You know just as good as I do that the Celtics defense was off kilter the entire night. And I know just as easily as you do, just as good as you do, that Andrew Wiggins would have made a difference, much in the same way that you, Horford and Robert Williams, would have made a difference. Ultimately, it was a showdown that didn't leave you with anything that you wouldn't have known, knowing that Robert Williams and Al Horford and Andrew Wiggins were all out of it. The Celtics were starting a Blake Griffin. The people who want to trade for Jakob Poeltl probably have a little bit better of a case after watching this game. But again, the Celtics won't always shoot as bad from three as they did. Fact for you, not an opinion, a fact. The Celtics missed more threes than they have in any game all year long. This particular game, they have not missed as many threes as they did on Saturday. They're not going to miss that many threes in normal contest. So the 3-point shooting will be better on the Celtics side, and the Warriors will have more defense from Andrew Wiggins. I was disappointed in the game. I don't think that you can take anything away, and I think the Celtics are probably going to sweep the next two games against the Lakers and the Clippers. That's my throw to defense. Anybody who wants to throw Celtics shade about how badly they lost last year in the finals, here's your window.
All right, you heard them. If anybody up here wants to go ahead and shoot down the Celtics as being a pretend contender because they cannot beat the Golden State Warriors, JB is ready for you.
Well, I mean, what I would say is Jason Tatum is playing very great. Obviously, that one game was kind of off, but I'm going to say that if Boston keeps this up, Jason Tatum is, he's in the conversation for the MVP race. But maybe Golden State is their Achilles. Maybe Steve Kerr knows how to defend Boston Celtics action, and he has the key. Who knows? But the more that Steve Kerr sees Boston, the easier it's going to be for him to come up with strategies to beat them. So we shall see. I just want to give you guys a little bit of props today.
Thanks, Denny. Even if you're right, like they need to have a full roster in order to really effectively determine that. At this stage, we're just at maybe, right? You might be right. Right? Maybe they do have the number. But without Robert Williams and without Al Horford and having to start Blake Griffin at center, like you're not gonna know, right? Kevon Looney is like 3 inches taller than I might be off on that, but he's so much bigger than Blake Griffin. Every second chance point. And by the way, the Warriors scored 21 points off of second chance points, rebounding, and things like of that nature. Like subtract that, and all of a sudden you have a Celtics win. So yeah, as long as you're not going to compete for offensive rebounds, you're going to give the Warriors extra chances at the rim. Expect to lose, but also expect that statistic will improve with the addition of Robert Williams and Al Horford.
Just to let you know, they're the same height, and I think Blake is like actually 15 pounds heavier. It's the wingspan. Looney has a 7'4", 7'5" wingspan. That's what you're seeing. He's like Al Horford with no offense. That is what Kevon Looney is.
7'4" wingspan. You are right on. My bad.
Well, I know because I laughed because these yahoos that get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year were trying to convince everybody that he was the next Kevin Durant, to which I threw my head back and laughed like that gif. We'll go to Brooklyn next. We got Joe up here. You got any shots at the Celtics? What do you got for your Nets? We had already talked back and forth about the Nets, and I'm going to say it now. I happen to think Edmund Sumner should start here on out as shooting guard, move Kai back to the 1 to allow Ben Simmons to come off the bench to give you arguably a top 3 bench in the league with an added, backup big to Clax. That's my view. I want to know what your view is, Caleb. Good morning.
Well, definitely for now. Good morning, Chris. So Simmons is restricted with minutes. He's got that knee injury that keeps lingering. So for now, I would, without a doubt, not mind starting Sumner and letting Ben get his 20 minutes off the bench and spreading him out through the game, because it's going to be a process, but that knee keeps popping up. So, yeah, limit his minutes, let Sumner start for now, and hopefully he gets healthy, because when he was healthy for us, there was like a 6-game stretch that people I think are forgetting about where he was literally at points our best player, was doing everything for us. So hopefully he can get back and healthy, because he was on a tear before he got hurt and that injury started coming back. But yeah, I love the Nets bench currently. I mean, everybody probably heard about that game against Indiana that we won with 8 players out, or 8 top scorers were out, except Edmund Sumner. And so we had Sumner, Utah, Cam Thomas, Patty Mills, Markieff Morris, Sharp, Alondas Williams, and David Duke Jr., and Kessler Edwards. We actually called guys up from the G League. I forgot about that. But, yeah, we won. The Nets bench is very deep. Like you said, we do need a backup big man. As far as bench goes, I mean, it's been fluctuating a bit with injuries, but I would say you have Joe or Royce are going to be on the bench always. You're going to have one of the two. And you're going to have Edmund Sumner, not currently, but, probably later on in the season. Seth Curry, TJ Warren, Yuta Watanabe has been absolutely balling. Cam Thomas is back there. You got Patty, another shooter. So it's just a very complete bench outside of big. And if Sharp can continue to develop, I think he'll be more something next year. But, I like the Nets bench a lot. I think they're quite underrated. And the Nets are quietly one of the deeper teams in basketball. Not by no means the deepest, but one of the deeper teams. And my final piece is the Nets are 7-1 in their last 8 games, and they've just been cooking. I don't think it's getting talked about too much, but they've been playing really good basketball with some flaws. They've been pretty injured. We didn't have Claxton for a bit, Ben for a bit, but we're going to get back healthy tonight outside of Royce and maybe Claxton though, so that would hurt. But we're getting there. And remember Taylor Hendricks come next year. He's going to be a star in this league from UCF.
Taylor Hendricks is going to be a star. that's a bold take.
Not next year, but give him 3-4 years in the league, and he'll be one of the best. 6'9", 7'3" wingspan, can shoot the lights out, can play great help side, can play on ball. off ball. He's a little not too comfortable with the handle, but he's getting there. So I really like his game, and I think he'll be either like a really high level role player, I should say, like in a few years in the league. So just remember that name.
All right. I mean, I'm starting to like read flyers for drafts as I get ready to pick up college basketball more at the turn of the year. I tend to turn it on in January, and he's up there. He's getting buzz.
He looks amazing. I mean, like he can move at such a great pace, and he knows where to be. He's good. He's a freshman too. Like he has such a high basketball IQ. So young, and he has all the physical tools and has the shot. And just seems to be always in the right place, right time. He plays physical, fast. He's like everything you want in a modern day stretch four sort of switch defender that can do a little bit of everything. He reminds me of a little bit of a like slightly like a kind of like a Trey Murphy skill set, but bigger and a little bit better. But
I wouldn't go
really
that
like
far.
Trey Murphy. I'm with the Pels fans there. I love Trey Murphy.
I wouldn't go that far. He is a top tier mid major prospect, which means right now, currently, if like the season were to end, he would be looking anywhere between 20 and 30 in the first round, or the first 5 off the board in the second.
He's going to keep riding up there too. He's going to keep going up and up and up.
Yeah, that's what we'll need to see. Like,
it's going to happen.
Let's be honest, the CUSA competition ain't that great. Going back to the Nets, I want to get Joe in here, and then I got a question for Brooklyn Netcast. Joe, go ahead.
I just wanted to give a couple flowers out. That's it. First one is to Jacque Vaughn. First, like to hear all the talk that saying that when Steve Nash, first of all, to be under Steve Nash had to have been torture. First of all, but to hear all the talk afterwards about somebody, saying it might be coming in like Udoka and stuff like that. But I have to say I was very impressed with the Indiana win. And he really coached that day. I want to give him his flowers for that. Second person I want to give him flowers to is Patty Mills. I mean, Patty Mills has been dragged through Nets Twitter for almost a year. And, and he had at least 4 DMP before. And he came in and he played his tail off on that Indiana game too. So I want to give him for being professional. And another one is to Markieff Morris. His veteran presence was a good reason why we won that game in Indiana too. So those 3 people I want to give my flowers to. But Chris, you don't think it's time for me to start my agenda of Jacque Vaughn being a great coach yet?
I mean, he does exhibit some signs of Doc Rivers' greatness, but I would hold off a little bit personally.
Okay, I'll get your take on it. I'll just say.
Yeah, my take on Jacque Vaughn is actually probably a little bit more nuanced than most people. I have said this about Stephen Silas, that it's going to be a crime if it doesn't work out in Houston, because it's going to limit his prospects of getting another head coaching job. And the perfect example of what Stephen Silas is going through is what Jacque Vaughn went through in Orlando. Like, he went to Orlando to try to bring Spurs goodness and NBA credibility to a team that was unserious, and he ended up getting ran out, and he's never sniffed at head coaching position again until Steve Nash was relieved of his duties, either in an agreement or not agreement, doesn't matter. And like, he's fallen in because he was the senior coach who had a relationship with the senior players. And like, that was going to be really the only way, unless he went down to like a major college and then won for 5 or 10 years to get a shot. And I want to say, 1, happy for him. 2, he's still kind of incomplete in coaching. Like, he does things that you look at it and I can hear Saint just scream at his TV. So, like, there's still room for improvement.
Nah, if you've been in Nets Twitter, it's more Jason BK. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was 2 games when we was up like 18 points and, say 5 minutes in, Say he brings KD back in and the lead dwindles. Like he's very upset like that. Like those decisions he didn't like. But I say he's doing an impressive job though.
Oh yeah, but let's understand, like his main job is more getting the players ready to play, mentally engaged and emotionally engaged,
Right.
as opposed to being strictly X's and O's. And that was the thing that I had said, and a lot of you have said, or at least thought, and I know you have. The moment they hired Steve Nash, right? It's like they're not going to listen to him. And it had nothing to do with he's an MVP and he was a player. It was cultural. He was not a cultural fit for what the starting lineup needed. And when you don't have a cultural fit and you have a leader who is not effective in communicating, you don't work. And what we saw, and if you're a Nets fan, and we'll go to Joel next before I ask Caleb this question, like that's what you saw was this jumble of what am I watching? And it's aggravating, right? To see the talent go through struggles that they shouldn't, and is really based upon communication. Whereas Jock seems to have a clear line of communication directly with KD and Kai, and that filters down throughout the team. And you see, even when they lose, a less contentious atmosphere. Joel, you've watched every game. Thank you for staying up. Welcome, or actually, it's I think maybe 5 over there. So you're cool. Thank you for coming in. What did you see last night for the Nets or over the weekend? And then I got a question for Brooklyn Netcast. All right, always riveting. Joel, insightful as always, breaking down Nets. We'll go to the question. We talked about a big on the timeline and in here. We both mentioned it. But my question to you is there's a big, and this is a weird sense here, in Dallas, who's starting not to get a lot of run. But he is a championship big with plenty of experience, and he can give you productive, 15 to 18 minutes off the bench. And his name is JaVale McGee. That's my pick for the Brooklyn Nets. Who is yours?
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
I spit that agenda, Chris.
I don't know. So kind of what the Nets have been doing a lot, and I'm okay with it now because it's been working. Is this 5 switch out no matter what they can do with Claxton, because Clax can switch on to the high level guards of the league and get out there, and then I guess it does leave something to be wanted in the inside when he's on the perimeter because KD's your main rebounder down there. But I don't know if JaVale could, if you want to switch with the system for JaVale when he gets here, like in this scenario, like I feel like that's just a lot. Like I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to almost go after not even like so much of a backup big, but a really good help 4 on the inside, so you can still run this whole switching scheme and have like a Jared Vanderbilt's been my whole thing. Like I don't even really. I guess the backup big doesn't have to be a center even. Like almost like a power forward that could be out there with Ben, or not even Ben, but like KD. And they could just, team rebound it. That's kind of how I've looked at it. But then also there's the other side of it where it's like, when you play the big body Steven Adams, you still have no one to contain him. So it's a weird dilemma because you can't have both. You can't have a big body that can bang in the paint with the like the Steven Adams, and like Valanciunas is even a really big center, and Nurkic. But if you get one of those guys, they can't get out on the perimeter. So I don't really know. I guess like JaVale McGee. But like, I don't really know where to go.
All right,
from here.
No problem. But you're not going to get Vanderbilt. I can tell you that much.
Oh, I know. I've given up on that. I wanted him this offseason. I had this whole thing where it's like Utah's going to make moves, right? Or not? Yeah, Utah's moves with like Minnesota. You should have been the 3rd team in there to help like move draft capital.
Oh yeah, but the issue was Ainge specifically targeted Vanderbilt, so that's the issue. Let me get Joe in here, and then Denny, then Jay the Wakanda. Joe, go ahead.
I'm just saying that, I'm listening to Nets Twitter. They still pushing Dwight Howard, and why not JaVale McGee? That's all I gotta say.
Because he has 2 years after this contract.
Because they saw Dwight Howard's stat line in Taiwan or whatever, and now they think he's the next coming of Shaq again.
Hey,
Yeah.
all he would need to do is give you 6 points and 10 boards, but I digress. Denny, hop in here with your thoughts.
You're gonna have to. Great point. I don't want a big that can't shoot a jump shot, so JaVale McGee is gonna have that's gonna be an issue. Then you mentioned Dwight. Yeah, I mean, I could use his big body, the screens, the rebounding. Again, jump shot, jump shooting is going to be an issue come playoff time when they start doubling everyone. For me, off the top of my head, if anyone can help a fellow Nets fan who is on the wire that's over 6'9", that can rebound and actually hit a mid-range 10-foot to 12-footer. Anyone.
If they were out there, they'd be on a team.
Fair.
I was praying he wasn't going to say Miles Turner. I'm so sick of it. I'm sorry. He can't rebound. He's awful. He got bullied by Markieff Morris in the paint.
Yeah, I don't think it's Turner because you wouldn't be able to afford to get Turner anyway.
Well, we could, but I've always been anti Miles Turner. I just don't think he's that good. Like, he has some really cool stat lines every once in a while, but then you watch him night in, night out, and it's like, damn, this man can't rebound for nothing, like at all. He's awful.
They said that about Lauri Markkanen, and now he's pulling in like 8 or 9 per game. Like,
Lauri went overseas. Lauri went overseas to play with his brethren. Maybe we got to send Miles Turner somewhere to play AAU to learn how to rebound.
Well, remember, also that's a product of what Indiana did as well, because they used Domantas Sabonis as the interior rebounder, and so like when you go through player development, like he never was forced to rebound. Ergo, he created bad habits that have now continued through his career. Jay the Wakandan, our first non-net, hopping up in here to give his thoughts on the Nets. We'll also go to him to talk about this Houston Rockets, Milwaukee Bucks game, so he can go ahead and get his free Jabari Smith propaganda off. Jay, good morning.
Good morning. There's tape of JaVale McGee looking like he's completely forgot the fact that he's actually on the floor of an active NBA basketball game in a Mavericks jersey, right?
Hey, look, man, I'm here to say JaVale McGee can provide a veteran presence with a decent pick and roll game that is kind of lacking with Nicholas Claxton. And like, can you imagine off the second unit of Ben Simmons, right? Joe Harris, Seth Curry on the wings, a pick and roll action with JaVale McGee, who's going to roll because that's what he does. And Ben Simmons, the phenomenal 6'10" passer that he is, drives in and hits either Seth or Joe. Like and Utah, throw Utah in there. Like, boom. Where am I missing?
That sounds pretty beautiful. I'm
not
going to lie, Chris. It does sound interesting, but it is JaVale.
On 2K, that's amazing. Real life, I don't know.
Shay is crazy. 2K, that's amazing.
I don't know if you can get JaVale to focus, and if you can, pump up Ben Simmons' heart and courage, sure. But I wouldn't want to give Jacque Vaughn all those issues in the locker room. I would try to bring in players that you don't worry about that part of the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't give Jacque Vaughn another Rubik's Cube to solve in that locker room.
Well, wait. To be fair, there's never been a problem with McGee in the locker room since Washington.
No. I'm not saying he's a bad locker room guy. I'm saying the JaVale trailing on the fast break, but somehow forgetting he's trailing on the fast break and forgetting that the ball is like to his hip.
Can we call it DeAndre Jordan syndrome, please?
Why are you? Yeah, we'll call it the DJ syndrome. There you go. Houston lost. I mean, Houston won, but they lost in that win. It was an ugly game by Jalen Green, who hit 30. I actually was having a back and forth in DMs from a Houston fan, and I was trying to explain to him, like, not all wins are good. Like, you get happy with the win, but this was not a good win. Go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, they beat Milwaukee. I like to call this win good result, bad process. There are a lot of bad shots that Houston takes, and this because of the lack of ball movement and the lack of trust that Jalen Green and Porter Jr. are going to spend sections of the game looking to pass and get everybody involved. So when anybody else gets the ball, they too are just looking for their shot. It's kind of the inverse of what you see in Denver, where everybody makes the extra pass because Jokic is always making the extra pass. So they have full faith that when it's their turn to be the open man, the ball will find them. I was very encouraged by Jabari taking on the Giannis challenge full on. Jabari was always willing to do his work early. He was always willing to meet Giannis wherever he was once Giannis crossed half court. There was a section of the game or sections of the game where the Rockets decided to play team ball. They were swarming, and they tricked the Bucks into playing an AAU game instead of the game that the Bucks want to play. But Chris Middleton playing 6 minutes had a lot to do with that. And I think the Bucks they just weren't ready to meet the emotional intensity that the Rockets had that night. And I think that's what I saw when I was watching the game is that the Rockets were making up for their issues with just hustle and heart, and it was consistent. Like for all 48 minutes, they were focused on getting that win for Coach Silas, which is interesting. It's super interesting how that relationship works in Houston, because I don't think Silas has the license to really coach Jalen Green and Porter hard, but obviously he hasn't lost the locker room because clearly they did that for him. So, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely. We'll go to Denny. Just guys, remember to try to keep the mics closed until you're ready because it creates feedback.
Copy that. Sorry about that. Quick question in reference to, you mentioned shot selection. If everybody in the room, the last 3 years, do you think the NBA's, in terms of everyone on the selective teams, do you think that the shot selection in the last 3 years has gotten better or worse?
I don't. Good teams has gotten better. On bad teams has gotten worse.
Yeah, I think the issue isn't necessarily better or worse. I think good teams have been able to narrow their shot selection, whereas bad teams are just chucking.
Yeah, it just seems to me that there's a lot of terrible. I'm not even talking about rookies. I expect that from rookies. I'm talking about full-fledged 5 years in the league, 10 years in the league, whether you're talking about Russell, whether you're talking about a couple of players in the league where I'm just looking at shot selection. I'm like, who told you that was a good shot? Who? It's 20 seconds left in the shot clock.
Steph Curry.
There you go. Talk to me.
Stop.
Denzel Valentine.
Oh!
That was important to bring up.
Have y'all not seen the shots that Dwayne Dedmon takes for the Miami Heat?
Well, first, that's Ray. Everybody say hello to Ray. We feel for you, Ray, as a Heat fan, having to watch Dwayne Dedmon get more shots than Bam Adebayo until the fourth quarter, playing half as many minutes. So we do feel for you. Go ahead and say good morning to people. We'll let you go ahead and start with this morning's praying for health and wisdom for Miami, because they looked horrible in that Spurs loss.
Look, man, my great grandmother's been dead in the ground for about 10 years now, and I'm pretty sure she could jump higher than Dwayne Dedmon. You can honestly tell that the Heat are just struggling with size and they're struggling with length. They don't really have an identity on offense, and it's just it really is hard to watch. I mean, Chris, what we did when we started Playbook at the beginning of the season. Everybody was really excited. We thought that we were going to have all kinds of topics to talk about, and it's basically just been, when are the Heat going to trade for a wing or another big guy or something like that? And it's just, it really is frustrating seeing how there's a lot of talent on the top half of that team and they can't put anything together. They can only have decent stretches of offense for about 4 or 5 minutes. And then after that, it's just, it's kind of what y'all are talking about with these bad shots. It's a lot of isolation ball. It's a lot of just taking shots early in the shot clock. And I don't want to say it's scary hours right now for Miami, but unless they figure something out, unless they can get some health going, I mean, I'm a Saints fan. I don't have a whole lot to root for right now, so I really just need Miami to pick it up, and I really need Dwayne Dedmon to never, ever, 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 ever see the court again for Miami. So if that means we have to bring Orlando Robinson up from Sioux Falls, if that means that I have to put my shoes on and go off, whatever it may be, but whatever Pat Riley and whatever Eric Spoelstra are doing, it's getting to the point now where it's either figure it out or tank for Wemby. And I'm going to tell you right now, as a Heat fan, this franchise and this fan base is not built to watch this team tank by any stretch of the imagination. So whatever they think they're going to do, I need them to do it and do it quickly and swiftly, or I'm going to have to get on this app and start talking real reckless on these people.
Ladies and gentlemen, shoot my friend Ray here a follow and check out Playbook Sports, another great content creator team covering all Miami sports. Heat, Dolphins, and some others like the Marlins. I don't know why they cover the Marlins.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Thank God.
They'll tell you that we cover the Marlins, but they cover Jazz Chisholm, and then whatever Jazz Chisholm does. After that, no. Sorry about the Marlins.
There you go. Make sure you get some 305 in your life, and also understand that Ray here is the purveyor of good hot sauce.
Yes, by all means, I am the hot sauce plug. I do charge a $5.95 fee, but that's only after your first order. At first order, it's free. We'll get it to you. Second order, $5.95 charge.
There you go.
Did he say that he covered the Dolphins too?
Yeah.
So what was worse, the loss to Detroit or the rookie coming in and just like spanking out?
Well, we don't cover football here, Joe. That's a negative point.
Besides, I'm a Saints. I look. The rest of them cover the Dolphins. I cover the Saints, and as you can tell, ain't nothing worth covering over there. So it just is what it is.
Make sure you follow him and shoot a follow to Playback Sports, so you can actually ask them that question. Like they'll answer it. They might yell at you, but they'll answer it.
It depends on who's main at the time.
Yeah. Let's go to 6 and 12, ladies and gentlemen, so we can get some Zion Williamson greatness in our life. We'll get a reset at the 11 o'clock hour. I got some women's hoops to cover. There was a great, fantastic weekend in women's college basketball. We will go over the top 25. 6 and 12, I tried to get everybody ready last week. Maybe I should have started 2 weeks ago when Zion was still averaging 20, shooting 70%. I apologize for not starting. But the Zion Williamson MVP Express is getting ready to take off. I am telling you now, if you thought the Jason Tatum talk was cute, if you thought Devin Booker preseason MVP talk was cute, get ready, because this Zion, man, it's going to be something else. 6 and 12, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chris. I wanted to piggyback off of the Hito Ray. Just on the Marlins talk. I actually lived in Miami over the summer for about 3 months, and I went to a Marlins game a couple of times. And man, when I say that's a beautiful stadium, but it's an absolute front for something, has to be, because they don't take baseball serious over there. But moving on to the Pelicans, and also I'm feeling about the Saints, man. The Saints are down bad. And actually that leads me to my next point. The talk of the city of New Orleans. I mean, it was a Sunday yesterday, and I know the Saints didn't play; they had a bye, but there were plenty of options on TV to watch good football. And once again, they sold out the arena. The Smoothie King Center, the Blender. I went to the game on Friday. And you can see it on Sunday as well. That's a playoff atmosphere in December. And that's like I think we've been waiting for an opportunity to be excited about basketball, because we love basketball in New Orleans. It's just the Saints, while Sean Payton and Drew Brees was here, that's all we really had to root for was football. The basketball team. It's sad. The basketball team was, even though I've watched every game, it was a poor product put on the field, on the court, and it was very hard to watch and stomach. But yeah, the Zion propaganda, man. It's kind of scary because he's just starting to get his feet underneath him, for being out for as long as he was, and also, learning how to play in a new system. I think that was a lot to do with it as well, and. Guys, the Pelicans have won. What is it? 7 in a row now. It's been 7. It's been 7 wins in a row without Brandon Ingram. 5 in a row without Herb Jones. I think the scariest thing about this team, to be honest with you, is any given night somebody can drop 20 on your head. Whether it's the bench, whether it's the starters. Friday night we had 7 guys going in double figures. Scoring. And that's scary. Like, you don't know who's gonna pop off, when they pop off. But the Pelicans have an enforcer. His name is Najee Marshall. If you try to buck up to any of the Pelicans players, he will be there to greet you. Chris Paul is the dirtiest player in the NBA. He thinks he's slick, but he is not slick. We've been watching it for a very long time. When he was on the Hornets, we kind of like, turned the head whenever he did certain things that he did. But now it's just, man, like, it's so bad. Like, and I get it. Like, people got upset about the whole Zion Williamson dunk thing, but I was in that arena and, like, look, if you're going to try to put up a layup with 9 seconds left in the game, don't be surprised if we throw it down court and let our superstar do a 360 windmill dunk on you. And then after the game, the Suns are going to talk about how that's not respectful and this and that. While they did that to us in the playoffs last year. They were up by 25 at home, and they did a runaway dunk up 25 with 21 seconds left in the game. So we don't want to hear that in New Orleans. Also, I've seen a lot of Suns people on the timeline, and it looks like we are deeply engraved inside in their brain right now. They're having group therapy sessions, so I hope they're going to be okay. But the Pelicans are legit. There really is no team in the NBA that scares me, especially on the West. I do think that the Pelicans can match up with really any team right now in the NBA because of their length and athleticism. And the one thing that was hurting the Pelicans earlier in the season was their defensive play. The switches, the rolls, all those things, the closeouts on threes. And right now the Pelicans are playing absolutely phenomenal defense. So, yeah, I just want to say, man, it's a great day to be a Pelicans fan. Taking both of those games against the Phoenix Suns. You got the Jazz in back-to-back games. You got the Bucks, and you got the Suns again. So, the Zion propaganda is going to stay here. And I want the praise to be louder than the disrespect was that everybody showed Zion Williamson. And that's all I'm going to say.
All right. Appreciate it. Look, it was real loud. Like, I remember people made fun of his weight. People made fun of the fact he couldn't stay healthy. And I'm sitting here like, yo, he's a regular human being. He's growing. The dude is going to be phenomenal. And yet here we are now. I'm going to hit this button real quick as we go into the second hour. I want to say thank you for coming in and spending any part of your day. I want to give a special shout out to my friend Jordan Isaiah. Happy birthday, Jordan. I pray what I pray for you. I send it to you in your DM, so I'm not going to say it out here, but it's hilarious. If y'all don't know, I'm telling you now, it's hilarious. We are brought to you by slamgoods.com. Head over to slamgoods.com. Use promo code HoopSpaces. Save 15% off your entire purchase. I will get the Slam Goods tweet up in about 10 minutes. Up next, we're going to talk some more NBA, but I have to share 2 things, right? The first is the story about Hansel Emmanuel. I put it up there. He's now playing for Northwestern State. I followed him through his entire high school journey here, ladies and gentlemen. He is a one-armed, phenomenal player, scoring his first points in the game last night. Hansel Emmanuel. We'll get into him a little bit later in the third hour of the show. But next up, we're going to have some women's college hoops, top 25 action. From last night, Va Tech 86-48 over UNC Asheville. The North Carolina Lady Tar Heels, the real Tar Heel team in North Carolina, 99-67 over Wofford. Iowa State 84-50 over Jacksonville. Oklahoma is 94-65 over Robert Morris out of Pennsylvania. South Carolina more than doubled up Liberty University 89-39. The NC State Wolfpack, the Lady Wolfpack beat South Florida 65-57 Very impressive win. South Florida is a legit mid-tier school. UConn, as I said, falling to your Lady Terrapins, 85-78. The University of Maryland Terrapins banished the Evil Empire, giving them their second loss of the season. Ohio State beats Michigan State 74-68. Arkansas over Arkansas State 77-63. The Ladies Zag 73 over UC Davis 55. And Oregon beats Oregon State in the Women's College Civil War 75-67 in Eugene, Oregon. And we did have one cancellation. The 11th ranked LSU Lady Tigers did not play their game against the New Orleans Billikens, and I don't know why. I'll look into that. All right,
It was COVID. It was COVID.
Okay. All right, cool. There you go. Appreciate it. Breaking that for me because I couldn't remember. I'll get that Slam Goods tweet up here, but first we'll go to Jay the Wakanan for his reaction. We'll go to Joe, then Brooklyn Netcast, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to Ray one more time for a good rant that he might have. Jay, your hand was up. Go ahead. I know you got a couple points you want to make. Floor is yours.
Yeah. I'm glad that Zion has become the superstar we always wanted him to be, and bullying works. And I'm happy for him because sometimes people need it, okay? Just like Joel Embiid needed Doc Rivers' greatness to remind him to play like a big instead of a wing. Thank you.
I love it. Absolutely underrated. That was good. Gives yourself 2 points. We'll go to Brooklyn Netcast. Caleb, what do you got?
So, did you see the newsletter from Bleacher Report yesterday
I did not.
about the targets? The Nets think they're funny. They tried targeting Pascal Siakam. I don't know who Sean Marks thinks he is, but I just thought it was real funny. He's like, yeah, we're not going to go after any of the easy targets. We're going to go after Pascal Siakam. Like, what does he think he's doing? Like, he thinks he's slick or something? I don't know. It just pissed me off that, like, oh, Pascal Siakam's on the radar for the Nets. They don't care. The Raptors could care less. They're going to tell Sean Marks to shut up and go home. I keep reiterating this. I do not want Sean Marks making a deal with a high-level GM because he will get fleeced. So now I'm nervous. Like, he's going to go after somebody on the Raptors or something, and, like, we're going to get fleeced.
Can't get fleeced out of picks if you don't got picks, baby.
We got picks.
They've got picks, though. They've got the Sixers picks because the Sixers have Daryl Morey as, for some reason, their president.
So we do have 2 picks that we can trade this year.
Yeah. Gosh,
but
I
I do not trust him. Like, I know he's gonna be like, yo, we'll give you Ben Simmons, Nick Claxton, and 2 firsts. You give us Christian Coloco and a 2nd round pick, and we're set. Like, I'm beyond scared of that man to do something stupid. Like, so, like, as excited as I am for, like, what is today? Is today the 13th, 14th?
12th.
12th. Okay, we're almost at the 15th. Like, I'm not excited really as much as I was for the trade deadline or the trade startup where you can start moving pieces. Because who does he like? I don't know. He thinks he can get OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. Like, it just he's only got realistic targets. He's like, nah.
Marks has been questionable, but he's not insane.
Yeah, I don't see him getting fleeced like that. I think you're just a little bit too far out there.
I can't wait for the Coloco trade when we trade all the stars.
Joe, hop in here real quick. Give yourself 30 seconds.
I am very nervous about Sean Marks too, but I don't think he get fleeced on this one. But I, like you said, saying the vitriol and whatever about Zion Williamson was loud. So I want to give my apology for because now he's in my top 10 MVP race. So I thought he was going to be a bust. So I just wanted to give my apology for that.
Look at that. See, y'all are out there. You will feel better the moment you apologize. You will feel better. Let's go to Micah. Micah, good morning. What do you got? Always riveting insight, Micah. We can always count on you.
No. Cut me slipping. Hey, real quick, Chris. I was just gonna say something. Okay, as far as Bleacher Report, these fake trades that they put together. They're not coming from GMs or sources or anything. And every trade they propose is a fleecing
It
of the
wasn't a
small
trade
market.
proposal. That's not what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't. We know that part, but it wasn't a trade proposal. It was a summary of thoughts.
Right, exactly. But it just shows a lot. Like sometimes when you see people putting trades and fake trades together, it just shows a lack of awareness for both parties in the trade. You know what I mean? Like somebody is making a trade for one of three reasons. One, for cap. Two, to improve roster. Or three, to obtain draft capital. If both parties are not doing those things, then the trade isn't being made. Like, there's always a reasoning to it. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it, Mike. I'm going to get you on mute. The construction work is getting it's loud down there. Make sure you're wearing your proper ear protection, man. Don't need you going deaf. All right, real quick. Men's top 25, only 3 games last night. The University of Maryland Terrapins lose to the Tennessee Volunteers 56-53 in a tough game in Brooklyn for the Basketball Hall of Fame Invitational. The Iowa State Cyclones defeated McNeese State 77-40 in Ames. And Mississippi State defeated Minnesota 69-51 in Minneapolis. I'll take this time to wish well thoughts to Mike Leach, who had a medical emergency and has been transported to more intensive care. Shout out to him. I don't cover football, but when I did watch it, I always enjoyed the Pirate, specifically out in Washington State. And it's sad news whenever you hear anything like that. We will go to 6 of the 12 to finish up the Pels talk here, and then we will go to Ray to talk some Heat one more again, as we got some more people popping in. 6, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say it's first off, it's really good having CJ McCollum on the team as a veteran leadership, because he was asked after the game on Sunday if this was a rivalry with the Suns, and he said that it's not a rivalry until you can do something in the playoffs. So I really like that. As fans, right, we see it as a rivalry, but it's not a rivalry, and people won't take notice that until we do something in the playoffs against those type of teams. And also, it's scary what Zion is doing, because I forgot who mentioned it, but it's been strictly off of driving to the paint, and probably a month and a half ago, Aaron Summers, our on the court broadcaster that talks to everybody. She asked when are you gonna kind of start implementing different things to your game? And he said the second they stop me from doing what I want to do and getting to where I want to go. So I think that's scary. He also dropped 2 threes in the game on Sunday. He was 2 out of 3, and he also put up with a little midi. Just excited, man. That's all, really.
All right, yeah, absolutely. In fact, Zion Williamson will be the featured slamgoods.com clothing article that I'm going to actually link up here. It's the Flex on Him shirt. It's actually on sale right now, and you can save an additional 15% off. I will give that to you in about 5 minutes, but up next, we're going to give the mic over to Ray to continue his wanting of the Miami Heat to do something as Pat Riley looks above like nothing is wrong. Ray, what do you got?
I think it was Brooklyn Netcast that said it when he was talking about Sean Marks, and he was like, "Who do you think you are, trading for Pascal Siakam or trying to?" And that's kind of how I feel with a lot of what people think the Heat are going to get, and trading for some of these guys that we're going to trade for. I mean, people are always like, "Look, you can trade Duncan in the first." Nobody wants Duncan. Nobody wants that contract. The first, yeah, maybe kind of, but it's going to be a mid-round pick. Like it doesn't really move the bar for a lot of stuff. After that, it becomes guys like Max Scherz, who's really inconsistent, but probably has some of the more value to the rest of the league. But I mean, again, nobody wants an inconsistent 3-point specialist like that. That doesn't move the bar for you. Then you have guys that it rounded out with Gabe Vincent, Dwayne Dedman, Victor Oladipo, and it's just like the Heat don't have a lot of chips in their war chest to be able to make some of the trades that I think they want to make. If you kind of saw what the Heat did recently, they went and got Stanley Johnson, which I mean that does not move the needle for me, and I don't think it moves the needle for you guys either. And they finally signed Orlando Robinson. I think this is the last rotation of these G League players where we're swapping them and signing them and sending them down and all that stuff. But they finally signed him to a 2-way, and hopefully they're trying to move to something with some size to help this lineup and this roster construction. But there's just not a whole lot that they have that they can make moves for, in my opinion. I've talked to different circles. There's people that think that the Heat won't even make a move this year and they'll just kind of wait and do things in the offseason. Everybody knows how Pat is. He likes to do these these whale hunts like he's Captain Ahab looking for Moby Dick. And it's just, I get it. That's in the grand scheme. That's what you would always want. You would always want to add the best player to your roster. But I mean, right now, this year, it doesn't look like it. I've talked to people that they think Jared Vanderbilt's an option. There's people that want Cam Reddish out of New York. And it's just, for me, I mean, Cam Reddish maybe because you can drop a second because that's what they said they want. But I mean, somebody said it. These people don't know what they're talking about when they report a lot of this stuff. But a second round or a player with a different skill set, maybe Miami can fit that for Cam Reddish. But I don't see us making a large, viable move that puts us in the same category as, I would say, the Bucks and the Celtics. And right now, honestly, the way it's looking, the Pelicans, it's just get rid of Dedman. I'll come back to that at some point. I know I will. It's just miserable to watch. And I also want to touch on one thing from the Pels guy. For those that don't know, when you live in Louisiana, there's like this weird law that you have to abide by, and it basically says that you kind of have to support all of these Louisiana-based franchises. For the most part, there's people that break the law, as always, and they'll root for the Cowboys and stuff like that. But if you watch the way that the Pelicans fans react to that team, it really is the same way that the Saints fans react to that team. If you look at the ratings for what how teams watch, in local markets and stuff like that, the Saints are always or New Orleans is always one of the highest markets for watching that team. So, last year when I had to sit and watch, the Pelicans without Zion, and I'm watching Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum and Alvarado and all these other guys, I'm like, there's something here. And if you can get a healthy Zion in this, this is going to be scary. And you're seeing what that is currently at this point in time. They don't even have Brandon Ingram. Just a healthy Zion Williamson changes the game for them. It changes their entire outlook on how they play basketball. So, honestly, if they surprised everybody in the West and made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals this year, maybe even the finals, it genuinely would not surprise me. And they'll have a fan base behind them that's going to rage and rock like they're a European country, hooting and hollering for their soccer team. So good luck to the Pelicans and everybody that's a Heat fan. I genuinely believe you should taper your expectations about what and who we are going to get if and when we make a trade. There's just no way in hell that we have enough in our arsenal unless we find a third team to really make noise this year. That's just my take. Sorry, you guys can all hate me, but it is what it is.
All right, there you go. No, I think it's a great take. I think Miami is at the peak that it can reach with the current iteration, and sometimes addition by subtraction is the only answer you got, and that's unfortunately the position that the Miami Heat are in. We'll go to Jay, the Wakandan tech support, real quick, and then if you look up top, the tweet from Slam Goods that I put out there is up there. I try to tell you that the Zion MVP train is going to be off the chain, right? Right now, if you go to slamgoods.com, they have the Flexing on them tee on sale for $20. It used to be $36, so it's already $16 off, right? Use promo code HoopSpaces, save yourself another $3.50. You can go get yourself a proper cup of coffee. Jay, then Big Guy, go ahead.
Two things. Another thing that's being underreported about Zion is he's actually trying on the defensive end, and that makes a world of difference as well. But as far as the Cam Reddish thing is, I believe he's a clutch guy, and it's not an accident that the reported trade package is something that the Lakers could afford, which is just a second round and a young guy, right? So don't get fooled into these shenanigans.
Oh gosh. These Lakers fans down bad trying to find that piece to put them over the top, everybody.
Oh, no. I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm not saying it makes the Lakers better. I'm saying it's not a coincidence that a clutch client's price is something that a LeBron James team can afford.
Please say that again, Jay. Please say that again. Because these people are out here like, oh, the Lakers won him. I'm like, oh, you mean clutch wants him. Okay.
Also, if Cam Reddish is a clutch player, then that means absolutely not for Miami. We all know how Pat feels about that.
Which is true. It's funny is like the way that the NBA is moving. He might not like it, but it's moving to the direction where sometimes you're gonna just have to deal with people you don't want to deal with.
I mean, personally, get over it. I mean, I understand it. You don't want to get burned by somebody a second time. But if you've been burned by them once, you kind of think that you would understand how to navigate through those waters and not get burned. And I mean, in a way, it kind of it hurts. It just hurts the Miami Heat. And in a way, it even hurts clutch clients because it's like, oh, well, there's a city that, is really nice. It's a beautiful city. It's right by the fucking ocean. And we can't go there because Pat Riley hates you. Like it's just not good for business on either end. But I mean, Rich Paul is going to make his way, and Pat Riley will too. That's how these stubborn alpha male type people work. But I mean, if it was me, I would just get over it and be like, all right, I need a clutch player. To me.
All right, real quick, everybody. I put a tweet out here to say good morning to the faithful that are New York Knicks fans, and I want to say good morning to Sean, who is a New York Knicks fan. You can catch him on Live from the Mecca with Cedric Shine and Jeff J. Says, and his talents over at Knicks Film School. Make sure you check that out. He'll be hosting spaces, and he's on playback and a couple other things that they do with Chris as co-host.
Playbook.
What?
Playbook, not playback.
No, not you. I'm talking to Sean.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. Man, now my thought process was all thrown off. I was getting ready to set up
all the cool things that I've done. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
Julius Randle is an all-star. I will not be taking questions at this time. Sean, good morning.
Oh, you trying to set me up? You son of a bitch. Good morning, everyone. Shout out to anyone who bet Zion for MVP at plus 1,800 at the beginning of the year. Shout out to Harry Kane, who's still the best striker in the world, no matter what anyone tells you. And the New York Knicks have won 4 games in a row. I think that's called a winning streak. Julius Randle is playing offensively at an all-star level. And it looks like somebody whispered in his ear after Saturday's debacle against Dallas and said, hey, dipshit, if you actually try on defense, you may actually have a chance to make the all-star team. Now, I think we have 2 players who are worthy of consideration, but we all know there's no chance in hell there's going to be 2 Knicks in the all-star game between him and Jalen Brunson.
It ain't Brunson, I can tell you that much.
I know if Brunson keeps this up, he'll definitely be in consideration. He absolutely will be. But on the flip side, are people going to be like, I vote for Julius Randle? Like, that's probably a thing. I'm going to give Tom Thibodeau some minor dap. Since he went to this 9-man rotation and started basically created a rotation where everyone is under the age of 28 under the age of 26 except for one person. The Knicks have played very well. Their defense is top notch. They are now a top 10 defense. But I say a smidgen of that because he's only doing what we have been telling him to do for 2 freaking years. Play the damn kids. What do you have to lose? Right? So, listen, I am not going to listen. Like Chris, you said the Knicks got better. You said that from day one, and they have. They are currently in 8th place in the Eastern Conference at 14-13. And as I say all the time, you're either chasing a title or you're chasing lottery balls. And if you're not one of those two, you are mid. And there's a whole lot of mid. And there are certain teams that think they're not mid, but they are. Actually, Chris, let me ask you a question. Because I know you watched. Did you see the Raptors game last night?
I sure did.
I did not see the game, but I heard that Scotty Barnes was a 2-pack of ass. Oh yes, he shot a tour date last night. I was told that he was going to be All-Star and All-NBA this season. What happened? Could anyone explain that to me?
I was told that he was a child birthed from the union of Irvin Magic Johnson and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I've been told that he was the second coming of young LeBron with better defense. I was also told that it was a lock that he would hit Most Improved Player as Nick Nurse would unlock his talent. And what did he do last night? Well, he shot 23% last night against arguably the worst defense in the league, not named the Houston Rockets.
And Chris, don't forget that he was untradeable with that trade with Kevin Durant.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the quote sticking point. I've always questioned that particular KD trade to begin with because I didn't see it happening. But if that were the case, yeah, they turned down what would have been a Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Kevin Durant, with OG Anunoby probably for Scotty Barnes, and here we are, Sean.
Hold on. Y'all are not gonna jump my friends Fahim and Nelly. Precious Achiuwa.
I'm not jumping anybody.
I'm not jumping anybody. Shout out to Nelly.
Precious Achiuwa didn't play. Otto Porter didn't play. Thad Young didn't play.
Bro, we really on Precious Achiuwa?
Are we hating on Toronto?
No, we're not. We're not hating on Toronto. We're just saying what we were told isn't what's happening.
I mean because guys are having to play 40 minutes a night because 4 of their rotation guys are out. Okay.
Listen. Nobody's above the smoke. Nobody.
Well, it's because we are talking Toronto Raptors, Sean. Nelly J from Raptors Live TV has joined us on the stage. Everybody, go ahead and shoot her a follow. Phenomenal job again with Fahim for the win. You got to check them out. Post-game Raptors. They also do listen and watch parties on Clubhouse. Another Hoop Spaces creator team who's getting ready to take the next step. I talked to Fahim a little bit yesterday, and I can't wait to see what they have, getting ready for you. Nelly J, NBA Twitter woke up this morning and said that Scotty Barnes looks like Michael Carter Williams 2.0. What's up?
Yo, man, listen. I'm not even mad at NBA Twitter. I'm not even mad at them. I've been calling out Scotty. I mean, if you guys come to Clubhouse or go to our post-game show, listen, I got smoke for every player. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Siakam, I feel like everyone has been mid, like Shauna said. Like, if you want to play mediocre, you're going to be a mediocre team. If you don't want to be mediocre, you got to play better. This is the NBA. Performance matters. Playing hard matters. Effort matters. And team are just outplaying us, like just out hustling us. And it's unfortunate. So at the end of the day, if the Raptors, if this team wants to be taken seriously, they got to play like they care, right? I do think we are in a shooting slump. Freddie has been struggling from the field. OG was out yesterday as well, and he's like our anchor defensively. So with him not playing I feel like yesterday, to Sean's point, if Sean, I don't know if Sean watched the game, but without OG in the court, a lot of things get out of whack sometimes, especially in the defensive end. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of switches, things that typically wouldn't happen if he's there. And, I would say Chris Boucher played with effort. He's not even our top guy, but he was actually like trying his best. And I think as Raptor fans or even basketball fans, all we care about is teams that are, going to perform. And I think Orlando outperformed us 2 games in a row. That's just what it was. Like, they actually, and I think with Orlando, and I think Fahim mentioned it yesterday as well, I think their shortest person is Markelle Fultz, who starts, and then everyone else is 6'10" and above. Like, they have 6'11" vision. We got 6'9". You know what I'm saying? And this is basketball. The teams with the bigger players that are taller and more athletic, and you know what I mean? Like, that's an advantage. So they're just bigger than us. Like, sometimes it's just talent, it's just length, it's just back to the basics. So, the Raptors in a slump. A year ago, we were in the same situation. We were like, I think 17 for 13, 11th seed team. And then something just clicked and they figured it out. And for a lot of us who've been watching basketball for years, we know that the first 2-3 months, a lot of teams struggle. And then some teams, perform better, and some teams still struggle until the end of the season. So I'm just waiting to see if the Raptor team is going to pick it up and, figure it out, or are we going to just struggle and, make trades, make retool, fix it up. But it's too early for me to think, oh, this team is done. But to Sean's point, and I said it, I think, Chris, like the first show we did for the season, like, this team is legit play in 5-6, right? I mean, on like very, very good. Some fans thought we were a championship team, and I was like, okay, good for y'all. Like, I'm happy. Like, give me all the positive vibes. But we're like we're a playoff playing team, and we're still transitioning. We still need pieces to even contend. We're not even in contention yet, and that's just what it is. The NBA is really talented. It's the best of the best in the world. So hopefully we can figure it out, and if not, we tool. I'm gonna land there, Chris.
All right, definitely appreciate that.
Chris, can I have 30 seconds with Nelly, because I'm a Toronto fan as well.
What? Wait.
Wait.
Ooh, really? Look at this. I'm loving this.
Whoa. Wait.
What?
What the hell is going on here?
Ooh, I love it. Come on over, Nat. Come on over.
Wait. No. What is this, Nat?
Can I have my 30 seconds with my other team? Because I didn't like the hate that I got, or excuse me, that I heard in this space. I didn't like it. Like, we gonna act like Pascal Siakam is not that guy. Like, he's not having a great season.
Great season, yep.
Like, Scotty Barnes in his second year, and you're
this is just nasty.
I love it, Nat. Keep it going, Nat. Keep going, Nat.
Nasty.
Right?
So wait, hold on.
But Nat, isn't it like Nat? But isn't it like it's really early, right? Again, maybe I'm just very optimistic, but I just think that this team is a second year without Kyle. It's a second year for Freddie to start as a point guard and actually play point guard. He's playing shooting guard for the longest, so he's still adjusting. Like, there's just so many things that we're transitioning. And I think last year, because we overperformed, right, Chris? Like, we went above and beyond everyone's expectation. Like, we were at 50 last year. That's crazy.
But no, this is the thing, though, right? And me being serious, I think you have too much of the same thing going on that team, and everything is everywhere. So it's like, that's what I think the biggest issue is. Guys can do the same thing, and it's like it's oversaturated. So Facts. I think that at some point you do need to figure out what you're doing with OG. You do need to figure out what you're doing at that 5 position if you're actually gonna roll it, how you have that tandem going right now. And you got to package people up and actually center your offense and your defense. Say, Scotty is our star. We know that. Siakam is not going anywhere. He's still a phenomenal player, and he's had a really great season so far, thus far. So what are you going to do now and hone in on the talent that you have? But you just have a lot of guys that does the same shit. And
Agreed.
That's not going to be a recipe for success too long. So that's what I would like to see. I like to see you take somebody, trade them, and then start centering that offense. And
But before you go, Nelly, we have to address a matter. Like, I've now known Nat for 2+ years. 2+ years of talking Celtics and general NBA, and then on a random Monday morning comes out and says, "Can I get 30 seconds to talk about my other team?" What?
Let's go!
What is this?
It's
Let's
nasty.
go!
You think you know somebody.
As long as they have Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, I'm going to be caping for Toronto.
I love it, Nat. I love it, Nat.
Nasty
Hold
behavior.
on. Okay. First of all, there's nothing wrong with admiring another team. I am on record as saying that I was the biggest Raptors supporter south of Buffalo in 2019. I backed them with my money because I was like, they're going to win the championship and I'm going to bet on it. However, let's be clear. I wasn't shitting on the Raptors. I just noticed last night that Scotty Barnes catching smoke with the timeline. So I pulled up to Raptors Live TV yesterday. Shout out to Nelly and Fahim. And that's where I found out that they lost back-to-back to Orlando. And I was like, word? Then I went and looked up his stats, and I saw he was shooting tour dates. So I was just like, so it's not about the Raptor. It's just as much as me just calling out all the stuff that I heard in the preseason about how future Hall of Famer Scotty Barnes, and look, and now I'm hearing that, well, he's young. So is it Uchawali Wally or is it one right?
So I'm gonna respond to you, Sean, first. So yeah, there are some Raptors. I call them Scotty Barnes, defensive players of the year. We got a few Scotty depoys, man. They go find exclusive for Scotty. I love them. They will defend that man. And hey, that's their guy, right? But you're absolutely correct. Scotty offensively has been flat. Last year we saw uptick from the summer league to last season. This season he shot well from the three for the first month, and then he forgot how to drive and penetrate and do other things, pass the ball, cut. The things that he was doing so well last year that he forgot to do. Even defensively, he hasn't been that spectacular. So we got to call him out, right? And I feel like Scotty will rise to the occasion. He's a competitor, so I think he got it. Now, when it comes to Nat, what Nat said, Nat, you're absolutely correct. Nat, we tried to package a few forwards last year in trade deadline. Nobody was trying to talk to us, even off season. So I definitely think that's the move. Masai knows this, and he's definitely going to make or package some players. The question is who, and I think it depends on who's showing him right now that they want it, that they're hungry for it, that they actually care about winning and competing. So for sure, Masai has people on notice. I'm not shocked there, but you're correct. We have, to me, Nat, Nat, who would you say is our backup point guard right now, Nat? Real talk. We don't have a actual solidified backup point guard.
Malachi Flynn.
No, we do not. No, we do not. No, we do not. But not you know how it is, girl. That's the thing about the Raptors, that our guard situation's a problem. So to your point, we need an actual solidified backup point guard. We need other types of talent on the team. So it definitely is a huge issue, and for sure, I think we're going to fix it at least this midseason or off season.
All right, so
Otto Porter, sorry, Chris, but Otto Porter, I think him missing Chris has been a big disadvantage for us. I think Otto Porter was someone we thought was going to come off the bench and give some spark, and he has been hurt the last month and a half. So
now I have two things. One, to hear Raptors fans fall to the level of saying Otto Porter Jr. is a much needed cog in the wheel, causes concern. And then number two, look, I have 14 DMs, and 8 of them are from Nets fans. 6 of them are not from Nets fans, but now I have to ask our 2 resident Raptors fans on stage. It sounds like an awful lot like the Raptors should have traded Scotty for KD.
Oh boy! Whoa! But that wasn't even the trade though. Again, Nets fans, right? If you look at what was happening, they wanted to include Scotty. It wasn't going to be a straight Scotty KD trade. Of course, Masai would take that, but it was to include Scotty with other pieces. And I think your GM wanted 4 first rounds, bruh. It wasn't just Scotty and KD by itself. It wasn't that kind of trade.
He didn't even want to trade KD.
I'm
He was
still
literally
stuck on
just
Nat is a Toronto fan. Nat, really, please, Nat. I've known you for the longest, bruh. Please, what is going on?
Nat,
Please.
you are never going to live this down.
Not never.
Let's go.
Listen, I come up here on this Good Monday to stir the pot. Absolutely. But one thing that's not going to change, and it's all on my timeline for 2 years, I love Pascal Siakam. Like, that is just the thing. I love Scotty Barnes. That is the thing. I had him booked for that Rookie of the Year early last year before they even, started the season. I had him locked down. So I am a fan of those guys, and I love Fred VanVleet too. They just have a lot of players, and I love what they do on the court. So
You are getting a
But
reaction.
that's different, though, Nat. You said my team, and then you
Yeah.
just said 2 players. Like,
You
those are 2 different.
wait a minute. I said 3 players. That constitutes a team.
you are getting a reaction.
It's okay.
The best one, shout out to Plug for our lazy afternoon. Shocking. One word. You have people speechless. Give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you. You know what? I will, because this is y'all. Listen, y'all got to watch some Toronto basketball, man. All right, don't come up here shitting on them boys. They got something good going on over there. But the trade that I thought that for Toronto, I thought y'all was just gonna package up OG and maybe one of your bigs in a first and see if you can go over there and grab Jakob Poeltl. That's what I thought. So I thought that, having Siakam and Jakob Poeltl over there, that was going to be a problem. So that's what I was thinking.
All right, go ahead and close it out, Sean, so I can get a couple more people involved.
See, when your team is 21-6, I wouldn't give a shit about any other team.
I have time to talk about other teams because, I have
because y'all got bitch slapped on Saturday night by
You want to
Golden State.
talk about it? You want to talk about it? Wait. You want to talk about it? I'm ready.
We'll hit that up in the third hour. JB came in here and tried to do the same thing, and the problem is you're not going to find a lot of people who really think the Celtics are in trouble for losing to the Warriors. Real quick, I want to get a couple people in here so I can bring Joel back up. We're going to go to Big Guy first. Then we're going to go to Joe, the historian. Then we're going to go to Evan Towns and the Project Spurs. We'll hit a reset. We'll say what's up to Malika, and we'll move on to hour 3 pretty soon. Big Guy, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, barring injury, I think the next face of the league. Sorry.
Yeah, you cut out.
Yeah, I cut out.
You completely cut out.
No, sorry, I was going to call. I said, barring injury, I think Zion will be the next face of the league, as well as he will become the best player in the league. I think aesthetically, he's much more pleasing to watch than Luka and Giannis and pretty much any other player. And I think the league is looking to transition off of LeBron because he's still the face of the league, despite Lakers being pretty bad and LeBron arguably not being a top 10 player at this point. But I think towards the end of the season, I think MVP will come down between Zion and Tatum. So I'll see who it is, but I think those are the two. And hopefully we have a Pelicans versus Celtics finals.
That would be awesome. I said earlier, like, Jason Tatum's going to have to live in a world where he's not going to be talked about in the MVP in the same way as Zion. I do want to add a very clear distinction here, though. There is a difference between being the best player and the most dominating player. And like when you watch Zion, there's a lot of skill there, but let's not be mistaken. Right now, it's still more overpowering than just being better. And you see that because he's still trying to add wrinkles to his game. He added a transition 3. He still has trouble, really shooting definitively well in the mid-range. I would like to see him actually work on some post-game as well so that they can isolate him and he can really, truly take advantage of his size and strength. So let's make a clear distinction. Similar to the path that Giannis was on, Giannis was an overpowering force before he started getting nuanced skill. He's now adding nuanced skill to his overpowering force. Zion is even more powerful because he's compact than Giannis was in terms of their development. So I just want to make that. That's not saying he can't be, but right now the most producing player is Luka, and probably the most aesthetically pleasing game in the league is Tatum. And that's not me. That's people who get paid millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars who talk about this stuff every day, right? So he's getting there. I actually happen to think he finishes top 5, if not top 3, in MVP voting if he stays healthy this season. Because I do agree with you, and I've been saying it. We are hitting the beginning of the transition period from the LeBron and Steph and KD era. I know a lot of Golden State Warriors fans hate hearing that. I know a lot of LeBron James fans hate hearing that. This era is a story of 3 players: LeBron, KD, and Steph. It's that simple. The sooner you accept it, the better you will feel. And we are heading out into an era that right now has maybe 8 players vying for top 3.
But
That
Chris-
is fantastic.
But
Go
Chris,
ahead.
I think people are happy that you said that because as long as you acknowledge that it's just not LeBron, and I think that is disingenuous when people say that.
Hallelujah. I'm a
That's-
Laker fan, and I
everybody
don't
is
care.
happy to hear that because it's just crap that it's just LeBron, and it's been like that for a few years. Steph has been, phenomenal in the face. Like, he is a name. KD is a name, and people just want to hear that. So I think that's a fact.
All right, appreciate it, big guy. Great point. Go ahead and close out. What you got? Go ahead, big guy. I was just saying, good job, and wanted to know what you had before you left.
Wait, you were saying me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You're the
No.
only one named Big Guy. Like,
No, I didn't hear my name. Sorry about that.
no problem.
No, I mean, Luka's great. I think the thing about Luka though that's missing is Luka's not a good defender. And I think that's something that's going to differentiate him versus Zion, or him versus even Giannis, in my opinion. And then in terms of the KD, LeBron, Curry situation, honestly, I wouldn't. Yeah, KD's been one of the biggest stars, but I think it's really Curry and LeBron as the top 2. I think KD is on a tier below. But
see, what you're not understanding is what I'm saying. That is, you can't tell this story of this era without mentioning Kevin Durant.
What is wrong with y'all? Like,
That's my problem. You can say Magic Bird, but you can't really say Magic Bird and leave out Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, no, that's fair enough, and yeah, I agree with that. That's fair.
Yeah, that's all. Like, I'm not trying to equate KD's success. I'm trying to say in 20 years, when we're the old heads yelling at 18-year-olds, we will say, I saw LeBron James, Steph Curry, and this dude named Kevin Durant, right? Just like we had to listen to, well, I saw Jordan, I saw Bird, I saw Magic, and I saw this little 5'9" phenom named Isaiah Thomas. That's all. Let me get Evan Townsend in here. Let me get Bankai in here. We will bring up the next round of people after the 12 o'clock hour. Evan Townsend, words at Project Spurs, and then Bankai. We'll then reset, talk to Malika, talk to Andrea, get the new hands up here, and continue the wonderful basketball talk that we got going on. Evan, good morning.
Oh, man. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, everybody. I really hate to continue stirring this pot. But, Chris, last week, we were talking about, this Fred VanVleet, trade package we had. We were talking about Scotty Barnes being a lazy teenager. I'm really cool with a lot of Raptors fans, and they send me like Nick Nurse quotes, and it's just like, you think Coach Pop is a savage? You think he's like a scrounge, like just a Scrooge in the media, with the media, in terms of just talking and discussing, not trying to give people an advantage of what their lineups are, anything on the lines of just how their players, talking about what they've seen. He's really, really, really hard on like guys like Gary Trent Jr., guys like even Christian Coloco, who's just the next man up. There's Precious Achiuwa that's hurt. Ken Burch is not a starter, and he's really hard on his rookie. But the guy that I haven't seen him really too hard on is Scotty Barnes. And I kind of wanted to ask like Nelly and any other Raptors fans in here, like, is that just because he's kind of has like an extra length on the leash? Is he just not trying to piss him off? Is he just, I don't know, like when you think about Nick Nurse in general, I'm seeing, I put him in like the Tom Thibodeau, the Coach Pop, the what's the brother's name in Atlanta that's probably gonna lose his job?
Nate
That won't
McMillan.
let people on their phones. Like,
Damn, Evan. Can you get his name though? Like, it's Nate McMillan. Like,
Nate McMillan. Sorry, I'm sorry, but I'm talking about. At the end of the day, I put him up there in terms of like old style coaches that just don't let shit fly. Excuse my language, but Scotty Barnes has been. I guess it's literally his body language, man. He really doesn't look he cares at all, and that's what I just wanted just to bring that up again.
All right, Nelly, go ahead.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, fair point. Nick Nurse did bench Scotty, like he came off the bench for a game to show him that he's not that guy yet. So I think Nick coaches every player differently and approaches every player's issues differently. The problem is that a lot of Raptor fans want Nick Nurse to do the same thing with every player. And if you've ever coached or ever been mentorship or type situation, different tactics work for different players, right? And so, yes, Nick Nurse will call out certain players in the media because he knows that they'll rise above it, and they have. Every guy he's called out has risen above it and played better when he does that. Some players, he will just do it in the locker room. Some players, so yes, to your point, like Scotty is not void of smoke, and for some reason, people think that I don't go after Scotty, bro. Like before you speak on me, just come to Raptors Live TV, okay? Come there and you'll hear all the smoke. Like we don't hide. Listen, man, at the end of the day, everyone's accountable, right? But yeah, I do think Scotty does get he gets spoken to like everyone else, but he is a sophomore, so he gets a little bit more grace, to your point. But I do think I don't think Nick Nurse is as hard as you think. He's actually really he's not a player's coach, right? No, but he's a guy that players are open to sharing their concerns with, and he isn't as strict as like the Popovich and Thibodeau. But if he sees like certain things, after a while he will become that person. So I think he's slow to become as hard as people think they are, because even with Gary Trent, he only called him out after a month and a half of him playing poorly, like really having no effort. And now after he come off the bench, Gary Trent is now averaging over 20 plus points again. So some players just have to be pushed in that direction. Scotty, I'm like everyone here, I don't know what's going on with Scotty. His body language has been awful. And the guy that used to be clapping in games and stuff like that is gone. I've been told he's been hurt. It's injury related. It's personal stuff. I don't know, man. At this point, just hoop. That's all I care about. Go on to court and put effort in. That's all I care about.
All right, we're going to go ahead and we got three people. We got Bonkai, we have Joe, we have Brooklyn Netcast. We're going to clear out these names. Evan, go ahead and wrap it up so I can get everybody in before the 12 o'clock hour.
Yeah, real quick. Nat, I'm a huge fan of what you got going on with. Do you think you're a GM? You mentioned, the possible defensive player of the year in a trade talk with just Jakob Poeltl. I'm trying to just dive deep into that real quick.
Wait a second. Defensive player of the year? You tried to add in defensive player of the year and Jakob Poeltl?
No, an OG.
Oh, okay.
OG. Yeah, OG's there. Yeah. So listen,
Okay.
I'm just cool with the Christian Koloko, Jakob Poeltl swap with some picks. You throw an OG, I'll give you Keldon Johnson, I'll give you Isaiah Roby, I'll give you Trey Jones, I'll give you, I'll give
This
you.
guy said colloquial for straight with like, bro, no.
Okay, why not? Why not?
So we're gonna give up Koloko, who just started this year, for Jakob Poeltl and some first round picks. Evan,
You can resign Jakob Poeltl. He's just
but listen,
he's already cool.
we
with
give
the
y'all
Toronto
first round
area.
pick last year, man. Y'all got enough of our first round picks. Nah, man.
Drew Eubanks,
We
right?
good. We good, man. We good, man.
So Nelly, would you like Jakob Poeltl?
It's funny. I do like Jakob. I want JV back. Like, yes, there's some guys that I look at and I'm like, why did we get rid of these guys? I get it, but yeah, no, I definitely miss JV from the Pelicans and Jakob Poeltl for sure.
They don't want to pay Jakob Poeltl, though. That's what it is.
No, they're not going to pay him.
15, 16 mil. It's not bad.
They don't want to pay him.
Miles Turner money. That's not bad.
They're paying Koloko like $800K.
Yeah, he's a steal, Chris. He's the steal.
Like, what are you doing?
It would help the team, Nelly. I'm telling you, and get y'all Capella over there. It'll help.
It is true. It would actually help, and you can
Agreed.
afford it. You can afford it. It's
You
not,
sure can.
and you don't have to give up Christian Coloco either to actually afford it. And that's the problem. Evan doesn't want anybody other than Christian Coloco. Let me get Bankai Joe and Netcast. Let me reset so we can bring in Andrea and Malika, and then we're going to do a little bit different here in the third hour. We're going to go ahead and clear out some of the other people. I'm going to actually whittle the stage down to have a longer form discussion. We'll go next, though, to Bankai. Bankai, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Sean, I see you. I just want to know exactly what's wrong with the Toronto Raptors. I mean, didn't they have a championship pedigree point guard in Fred VanVleet, Defensive Player of the Year in OG Anunoby, the best young player in the game, Scotty Barnes, MVP candidate Pascal Siakam, right? Sixth Man of the Year, Gary Trent Jr., all rolled up in one team. What is going on? What is going on? Didn't they tell us this was the greatest team since sliced bread? What's going on with the Raptors?
Is this a Knicks fan?
This
Yes,
is a
this
Knicks
is a
fan.
Knicks. You know,
And,
I'm
Crazy.
and the Knicks are ahead of the Raptors in the
Oh
standings.
my God!
Oh,
What is
yay.
going on here? Is this the
Yay.
multiverse of madness?
Nat,
And they have hold up. And they have the greatest head coach other than Doc Rivers in Nick Nurse. What is going on?
Bakai's been waiting. He's
Yo,
been waiting. You can
for
hear
real.
it.
I woke up this
For
morning.
real, man. Violence, Bankai.
I woke up this morning and I saw Raptor fans shitting on Scotty Barnes. What? Did I wake up in the Twilight Zone? What is going on?
Yo, Bakai is racking up the points. He is in the lead with 8. And by the way, for those who are new, the points mean absolutely nothing, but you want as many as possible. Okay? If you don't understand how it works, that's not my fault. That's your fault. Because I just explained it.
Chris,
I
they
must be
are a
stuck in the
game.
multiverse of madness or something.
They are a game separate. And
Thank you, Nat.
This is news.
Gosh.
well, according to the Raptors fans, they were a lock for a top. According to the Raptors fans, they're a lock for a top 4 seed. They should be miles ahead of us.
Sean, don't believe them. Sean, man, don't believe them, Sean, man. Come on, Sean. You know the deal.
Look, we losing it. I want to keep this for the third. Let's get Joe in here. Joe, give us your last take because you're going to end up going down for a couple people. We'll hit up Joel, the Dutch Nets fan, and we'll get Caleb, and we'll close out the second hour. Thanks for everybody making part of your day, part of Hoop Spaces. We definitely appreciate it. This point is for you. Joe, go ahead.
I had a point, but after the Knicks fan went after the Raptors, I'm done. You can shit me down. That's just hilarious.
I'm giving another point to Bankai because Joe's
What happened
done.
to the mighty? What happened to the mighty wingspan lineup? Oh, we have players with 6'10", 7 feet wingspan. They can defend multiple positions. They can guard anybody at any time. What happened?
This is work, but I'm a Heat fan, so I'm gonna pipe down.
There you go. Yeah, you should.
Yeah, settle down.
You don't want to play against the Raptors in our defensive lineups.
We'll go to Brooklyn Netcast to close us out on the 2 o'clock or the second hour of Hoop Spaces. I have tears in my eyes. Caleb, take it away.
You want to know why they suck right now? You want to know why? They got rid of Yuta Watanabe, the greatest blessing that the Nets have ever. I mean, I love that guy. How can you not love Yuta Watanabe? He's like by far the most amazing human being in basketball. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot not love the guy. He's great. So that's why they're not that good right now. And also, I watched TJ Warren in his first game back walk the living hell out of Scotty Barnes on like 3 straight possessions. The man has no bag whatsoever. Like it's like current day. Like he thinks he can be like LeBron, where he has the no bag, step back, lay FU3 kind of thing, but he just isn't that good. So like I don't know what's. I mean, this is kind of expected, and I think Mobley not struggling nearly as much, but he's definitely having similar issues right now with just having simply no bag. But yeah, after that game, I thought Edmund Sumner was like Depoy caliber because like I don't know, like Scotty Barnes just looked lost out there against him. It was like Edmund Sumner and TJ Warren made him look like Michael Carter Williams. So I mean, he's just he'll get there. Like give him time. But it's just a sophomore regression. A lot of players go through it. It's a common thing. But like by year 4, he'll be like a 18, 20 point guy with elite defense and do a little bit of everything else. So I'm not gonna totally jump off the wagon of Barnes. But yeah, like Yuta Watanabe was the solution and they got rid of him. So yeah.
The Raptors slander, ladies and gentlemen, give yourself a round of applause, is top tier today.
Chris,
I apologize.
Kevin Durant.
I just want to talk about Scotty Barnes.
Kevin Durant. We don't want to trade for Kevin Durant.
Wait a minute.
Scotty Barnes is the
that real
future.
They don't need.
Scotty
Oh
Barnes.
my
Wait a minute.
gosh.
No.
This is so much kerfuffle. So much poppycock. Yo, Chris, the most poppycock I just heard the last 5 minutes, man. This is crazy.
Poppycock. What is
Can I just say
Poppycock.
real
Google
quick?
it. Google poppycock. Yeah.
Can I say really quick that the Nets were never going to trade Kevin Durant to the Raptors?
See, y'all killing it going into the third hour, ladies and gentlemen. I had to play the music so they can understand. We are moving on. The Raptors slander is so good. I know you don't want it to stop, and if you don't want it to stop, you should head over to Raptors Live TV to catch this on postgame with Nelly J and Fahim for the win. You know what we call that? We call that a good transition. I'm gonna give myself a point. I nailed that shit. That was good.
Hey Chris, I don't know if you just got that update, but the Lakers are looking at Evan Fournier. Thank God.
Yeah, you know what? They are looking at him.
Y'all need him too.
Looking is free. Remember that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are entering the third hour here on Hoop Spaces. We brought up Joel, the Dutch Nets fan. We're going to go ahead and let him rock out because he is across the pond and ahead of time. Joel, what do you got to say, my man?
Yeah, so I think I was up during the net segment, but right at that time, my wife needed my help. And even though I like you, Chris, I like my wife more. So I apologize for that.
No apologies needed, as you should, sir. A happy wife, happy life is a truism that I subscribe to.
For sure. And then I wanted to jump in on the Nets, Toronto stuff and the trade, Toronto slander, because the Raptors are my second team, but then you dropped me. So it hasn't been a good day for me in Hoop Spaces.
Oh, man, look, it's because you weren't able to answer because you were helping your wife and point to you. Just had to get other people up here. But if you have a take that you want to get off where you're not going to get any pushback on the Raptors, right now is the time. Say it now or forever hold your peace.
All right. So I was one of the people, right, who got a lot of slander for a couple of things I said during the Nets spaces, preseason spaces. One of the things I said was that the Raptors were going to be top 4 seed, that they were going to have home court advantage in the playoffs. I'm still standing by that. I might look crazy now, but that's what I believed. Another thing that I said that I got a lot of hate for was that Yuta Watanabe was going to make the roster of the Nets and that he was going to have an impact. Most people wanted Alonzo Williams over him, Kessler Edwards over him, David Duke Jr. over him. But, I've seen him play at Scotiabank Arena, and I knew there was something about this guy. Obviously, he wasn't playing for the Raptors the way he's playing for us, but I knew that he was going to add something to our game and they're going to have an impact. But when it comes to the Raptors in general, I do believe that, especially the Celtics fans, they should realize that it's still early. Right? Look at what the Celtics did last season. Look at where the Celtics were around this time. And look also where the Raptors were last season. I think that Nelly mentioned that. So even though I don't like what I'm seeing, and it does seem that they have a lot of the same players, I do feel that there's something to be done. I'm a big believer, as you know, Chris, in Masai Ujiri. I'm a big fan of his, so I think that he'll make a move or two, to improve the roster. A lot of people have been in and out of the lineup. Fred Van Vliet supposedly has some private stuff going on as well. So things are not really going the Raptors' way. So, of course, do you need to win at least one game against the Magic? Of course. Is Scotty playing awful? Absolutely. But I don't think that it's necessarily Nick Nurse, because someone said before that Nick Nurse is an old school coach, but he's not. He's nothing like fiery Nate McMillan. Not at all, right? I read his book Rapture, and he's not an old school coach at all. He's a bit of a strange coach, if that. But I believe that he will turn it around for the Raptors, because I do feel that he's a top 5 coach. and Nick Nurse is, and I'm just going to be patient with the Raptors, and they're going to get there. I'm very sure. As to Scotty Barnes, I don't know what his problem is, but he's that dude. Also, one thing that I got slander for in Nets space is Scotty is that dude. He has a sophomore slump, but he's going to come back, and in a couple of years, he's going to be more than what Caleb said, like 18 points per game, a couple of rebounds. Scotty is that dude, and that's my take.
Well, I said he'd be a depoy level defender, so
Yeah.
like just that, and it's like 20 depoy and a bunch of other stuff. That's pretty good. It's
Yeah, I don't think there's too many of us who don't believe the talent. I think the issue is the sophomore slump. In a second, I'll get you back. Real quick, Jess is up here. I'm gonna get you up here and talking to you, but not yet. Next up is Jess. She's on a condensed time schedule. We're gonna go ahead and let her close out on the Heat. I mean, not on the Heat, on the Raptors, and then we're gonna move on. We got about 5 minutes. I'm gonna start whittling down the stage so we can have a longer discussion about the NBA as we approach Christmas, because we are now more than a quarter of the way in. We're going to talk with these Hoop Space creators that are up here to get some more thoughts. Jess, I wanted to make sure you have your say because you are here whenever you can be supporting the building of a better basketball community. So point to you. Go ahead and say whatever you want. You got 60 seconds to talk about Raptors.
Yeah, shout out to you, Chris. And I'll try to be quick. I have a bit of time. I was working, but first and foremost, I support you. But we have some beef here, Chris. I have a little bit of beef with you because, when the Warrior season started with Draymond clocking Jordan Poole in the face, I didn't see and then the bench goes on to drop some games and the Warriors don't look how they're supposed to look. I didn't see what the hell is up with the Warriors. Last season when the Boston Celtics were in shambles and the Jays were in a bunch of trade packages because they just couldn't work together. I didn't see what the hell is up with the Celtics. Miami is crumbling right now. The Heat don't look good, and I don't see, on a Monday morning, any Monday morning of this regular season, what the hell is up with the Miami Heat? And I could actually keep going on because there's been quite a couple teams that are underperforming what the predictions were, and that happens, that's fine. So I am not going to panic about my team. I'm not going to give up on a team with an OG Anunoby on a DPOY campaign right now and Pascal playing at an all-NBA level. Like someone was already mentioning, it does seem like Fred VanVleet has some personal things happening on the sidelines, and the injury bug hit us hard. So it is too early to begin to panic about what's happening on the north side. And if I hear any more Brooklyn Nets fans try to slander my team when we were questioning what your team would even be before the season even started, I just need everybody to stop and relax, take a minute. Scotty Barnes is also not a flop. He's not a failure. Okay, when you play 40 minutes a night on a bum ankle and a bad knee, it's not gonna look right? Like he clearly needs to heal before he could go back to looking like the guy that we know that he is. So I just came up here to set a few records straight. I wasn't able to listen to, I did see Nelly and Fahim pop up. I wasn't able to listen to the majority of it, but I know that I'm sure everyone was having fun slandering the Raptors. And I would say get your laughs in now, get your jokes in now. The season is still early. Masai is still Masai. And when the December 15th trade deadline kicks open, we'll see. We'll see what happens and we'll see how we're looking. Because to me, it's so much more about how you end as opposed to how you started. So we'll just I'm taking notes.
True story.
Notes, Chris.
There's good news, Jess. You have gained 2 Raptors fans. Joel the Dutch Nuts fan and Nat. Like that's what you missed, really. Like 2 people came clean. That they have a second team.
That was always a joke. I never questioned that. Nat made sense. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nat. Nat was always a real one. But you, sir, trying to rile up the Raptors fan base with this title, and you know what you're doing. Because we could be asking what the hell is up with a lot of teams, and
to defend myself, I actually have said the same about both the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat.
I ain't see it up in the spaces like this as the
we crushed the Heat.
Yeah, we crushed them bad. Like it was like we did. We like ask JFK. Like we spent an entire 2 hours crushing the Miami Heat. Like it was bad.
We were doing so good leaving my team out of this, and then here y'all go. I was quiet in the corner, being quiet and
I'm
respectful.
just saying there's a number of teams. Again, clearly Fred and OG and Scotty need to heal. And the last point, and I was saying this to you, Chris, in the messages when we were talking earlier, like we said, it is very clear, right, that two-way defensive wings are the recipe to championships. And we have that. You just have to build personnel around those guys. You need a real center, and you need guards that can navigate the half-court offense. I understand that. We Vision 6'9", we might need to tweak. But to slander my team, to call us a playing team,
Wait,
to say we're in the
But you're a playing team right now.
Wait, but
I've been hearing
Jess,
over the last day or two, we're not doing that.
Jess, didn't you have the 6th man of the year? Didn't you have the MVP candidate? Didn't you have like a whole bunch of stuff,
But
and now
that's
you don't
why
have
I'm not
anything?
panicking. That's why I'm not panicking. You have Scotty, we have Pascal, we have OG
Okay.
Anunoby, and if Fred VanVleet can get mentally and physically right, we know what he can do in clutch minutes. He's a great shooter. He's one of the better defensive guards to ever play the game.
All right,
I'm
let me.
just saying this tough stretch has me questioning how we tweak Vision 6'9". That's all I'm saying.
All right, let me get one more person in here who's been waiting a while. I want to make sure that he can speak. Is it Adru or Adi? How do you pronounce it?
It's a Darius.
Darius. Okay. Yeah. Look, if I see a money sign, I don't see S. I see a money sign. So like, I was looking at something like, bro, what is this? Anyway, take 60 seconds. Appreciate your patience,
All right,
man.
I'm gonna make this quick. Shout out to Nelly and shout out to Fahim that's in the space. You know, they already know what's up. What I can tell you is, you guys are really overreacting with the Raptors at the moment. Like, we haven't had our full roster at the moment. We didn't have any. We have guys in and out of the lineup, so we're still gonna be a top 4 seed. I don't know what you guys are talking about, hit here and there. I know there's we have a shooting slump. If we can't play defense, what do we want us to do on offense?
Can we put some money on that?
First round.
Top 4 seed.
Yeah, let's put money. I'll put money right now.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Take that to the DM because right
whatever.
now.
Whatever. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue with the whole top 4 seed. What I'm gonna tell you is that you guys are overreacting in terms of their playing style. At the end of the day, we're still adjusting to the roles, and I'm not trying to slander you guys. I'm not trying to slander your new Nets fans, but I'm just letting you guys know.
But this is my problem, Darius. This is my problem.
Listen. Us Raptors fans have never said Scotty Barnes was going to be an NBA player or he was going to be an all-star or none of that stuff.
Oh, wait. Don't do that. Do not do that.
Oh, yes, they did.
Do not do that.
Yes, they did.
They did.
Who did that? Who said that? Not me, though. I never said that.
You.
I never said that.
Not you. But trust.
Okay, whatever. Those are other fans. But I'm just telling you is right now, like, you guys are kind of, when you guys were going through your slumps and the Warriors and the Miami Heat organization, those people are missing. We're missing guys at the end of the day. We don't have 9 guys that can play consistent minutes. So you guys are really talking about, the Raptors are organization, they're championship pedigree. Yeah, we get that. But at the same time, we're still going to be better than you guys. We're still going to be a competitive team. But we're trying to come through our slumps and trying to figure out what we can do in terms of our playing style. Because right now, everybody wants to have 10 field goals attempts, and they want to have like these type of moments where everybody has nice where if Freddie's not making shots, if Scott is not making shots, if everybody's not playing defense, what do you expect us to do? And plus, we're not even shooting well too. So that's how we're playing. That's how we're losing these games. We were freaking 6-4 in the last 10. We haven't even went on a 3-game winning streak. 4-6. Listen. I'm not trying to talk to you. Listen.
Well, no, but you're messing up the fact. You said 6-4. You're 4-6.
Yeah, right. I'm talking about the beginning of the season when we had these key guys out. We were still winning games competitively. Right now, we haven't even went on a 3-game winning streak. You guys are talking about Knicks fans are talking about we're on a 4-game winning streak. Okay, so we have.
But this is the problem, Darius.
What's the problem then? Explain.
You're 3-11 on the road.
On the road, yes.
You know what the Knicks record is on the road?
Yes.
It ain't 3-11. It's 7-6.
Listen, bro. Listen, I'm not trying to.
Y'all below us.
You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct in terms of what you're saying. We're 3-11 on the road, and especially when you have key guys out of the lineup, you're gonna have nights where you're not gonna shoot the ball well, and you're gonna lose these games like the Magic. We lost slowly because we weren't making shots. If we're making shots against these teams and we're playing good defense, That's how it's gonna happen. That's
All right.
what I'm gonna say.
All right,
Other than
appreciate it.
Can I say
Oh, wait,
Chris?
no.
that's all
We moving on. We moving on. I gave the Raptors an additional 14 minutes. I want to give Darius a shout out for being patient. Make sure you follow Nelly J Raptors Live TV. Keep the discussion going. Hop in there post game. If you're on
All
Clubhouse,
right,
check them out.
sorry. Just to say one more thing. Sorry if I was kind of being more aggressive, but shout out to you guys though. I'm not trying to say you guys are not saying you guys are not. You're
We
very
know
right.
it, Darius.
I
Relax.
appreciate you guys, honestly.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're cool. Like you found the right place. Make sure you like and tweet the show card on your way out.
Yeah, hopefully we can have a competitive game on Friday. You know.
I hope so. All right, I'm 15 minutes in, and I want to get this read done because this is what I'm.
All right, bro. Shout out to you guys, though. Shout out to everybody.
Appreciate it.
Raptors fans, Nets fans, Kings fans. Shout out to you guys.
Shout out to the Kings fans, all 38 of them.
I'm a Kings fan too. Don't worry, I'm cool with that.
Another two-team fan. Like this explains a lot.
No, I mean like in terms of I like their playing style, how they're playing, but I'm a
you're speaking to somebody who works for the Kings.
I do not work for the Kings, nor have I ever worked for the Kings, and this is why they made the mute button. Ladies and gentlemen, we are brought to you by our sponsor, SlamGoods.com. Head over to SlamGoods.com. Use promo code HoopSpace to save 15% off of your entire purchase. And I urge you, once again, to heed my words. The Zion Williamson for MVP campaign is going to take off. Get ahead of the curve. Pick up the Flex on Them t-shirt from slamgoods.com on sale for $19.99, right? Use promo code HoopSpace to save an additional 15% on that and on any other purchase at slamgoods.com. While you're there, do me the personal favor, check out the pickup card game, right? They were the first person who said, hey, Slam, you got to check out what is happening on Twitter Spaces. And he has always been a backer of us, and we will always be a backer of him. The pickup card game, $25 for the first edition for a lifetime of memories of playing a pickup card game, a trading card game centered around the sport you love, basketball. There you go. That's all I wanted to do. I gave the Raptors 14 extra minutes just so I could do that, and I appreciate it. And to all of you who are saying I didn't, you go look. I'm not going to spend my time looking for what the hell I said. I know what I said. It's on Twitter. Pull the receipts up. I literally make fun of every team. Every team I've made fun of, except for one.
Some people want one-way traffic, I realize. Yeah. When it comes, it's funny? When you discuss other teams and the response is you're a Knicks fan, one, I know I've already won. Number two, y'all give us all the smoke when we screw up, but when y'all screw up, it's like, oh no, it's just still early. And the funny thing is, I wasn't even shitting on the Raptors. I was pointing out that the Raptors fans were shitting on Scotty Barnes. They were the one that started it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are into the third hour. I want to make sure we close out these hands. We'll go to Casey first. We'll go to Brooklyn Netcast. We'll get Anthony shots here in here. But then we're going to have a more pulled back talk between myself, Nat, Sean, and Malika, talking some basketball in a way that we used to do over on Clubhouse that, to be honest, we haven't been able to do. We have not been able to do what we used to do because, everybody's growing, right? Sean has Knicks Film School. Malika has the Rewind Pod. Nat has So You Think You're a GM. We have, points in our lives where we have to say, we got this that we need to focus on. But, today's the day that we can come back and just talk like we used to. And I want y'all to be able to hear just what we used to do, because it's pretty dope. We'll go to KC first, as he wants to take some celebration and some congratulations on the Houston Rockets beating the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday. Go ahead, Casey. Good morning.
Hey, yo, what happened to Giannis last night? Y'all see that? Y'all see what happened to Giannis last night? My boy Jabari Smith Jr., the rookie, the 19-year-old, had that boy in a body bag last night. Wake up.
Chill out.
Nah.
Relax.
You didn't watch the game. You didn't watch the game. And when
doing
it
other
comes to
things.
this Raptors, give me my time, bro. I'll be out of here in a minute. You can talk after I'm done. You're gonna listen to what I got to say, bro. Because I'm a Rockets fan, and y'all be talking down on the Rockets, bro. We've been down bad. We've been the worst team in the league. I fucking know, all right? But look, if you were watching last night, you know what's going on with the Houston Rockets. And when it comes to this Raptors and Scotty Barnes shit, Jalen Green is better than that, man. So y'all better chill with that. And right quick before I get out of here, I just wanted to say, hey, yo, Phoenix, y'all better be ready. The Heat, y'all better be ready. Trailblazers, Bulls, Celtics, Mavericks, Knicks, all of y'all Pelicans, all of y'all better be ready for when Houston comes to your town, because we're going to beat y'all on any given night. Y'all don't come ready to play. So y'all be coming correct when the Rockets come into your town. I'm out this bitch. H-Town in this thing. Let's go. We back up.
Yo, give Casey some points and respect.
No, we gonna beat him with
Applause
the
all
backup. We
around.
don't even need Julius Randle. We
That
gonna beat him with
was
the backup.
great.
He's
That
right
was
though. Listen, if you
phenomenal.
listen, you know why he's right though? Because like Bankai will tell you, Anthony would tell you, like there was a point where, so the Knicks have 14 wins, like 30% of them came against like the Pistons. And there's this whole thing about the Knicks. We played the Sixers without Embiid, we played the Nuggets without Jokic, we played this team about that. And I'm like, yo, there ain't no taking any wins for granted in this league. He's right. If you take any team for granted in this league, they will run up on you. Ask the Raptors. We got bitch slapped by the Thunder at home. I seen Detroit beat Golden State. Like, don't take no team for granted.
And
Indiana.
don't come in here on some funny shit, bro. The Hawks came in here on the funny shit with Trae Young and Javante Murray, and guess what happened? Y'all don't woke us up. So if y'all ever gonna try to clown us and downplay us, guess what? You're gonna fucking lose. So I'm just letting y'all know, when Jalen Green, KPJ, and them boys come to your town, for one, go watch them, but for two, be ready for a fucking loss. I'm out.
Let him live on, ladies and gentlemen. He's up here. He is happy for what is the best win so far of this season. That's been a very difficult season for the Houston Rockets.
And what happened to your Sixers, Chris? Y'all came in here and lost too, and double overtime.
What's your point? Like, we had James Harden back. Like, that's just bad.
I know. I'm just saying, bro. We're up right now. What happened to Giannis last night?
I feel it, man. Like, you coming through like you had 3 espressos.
I was ready, bro. I was ready. Waiting for this moment. I appreciate that, Chris. I'm out.
Have a good one, Casey. I tell you what, like, when you are down, and as a Sixers fan, none of y'all been down like I've been down. Like, you come up and you be like, yo, I don't care what my record is. Did you see the game? And I appreciate that, because I did see the game. And Jabari Smith frustrated Giannis. If you didn't watch it, go watch the offensive possessions, and what you'll see is a 6'10", 228-pound Jabari Smith figure out how to get inside Giannis's pocket. And if you can get inside a player's pocket and you can disrupt their timing and their rhythm without fouling, you will frustrate them. And that doesn't matter who the player is. That's just the truth. Go ask any coach. They'll tell you, get in the pocket, move when they move, stay in their grill, and they ain't going to like you. And that's what Jabari Smith did. So we should give him some credit. Jay, with the Wakanda tech support, he goes off about this free Jabari Smith. I have a different agenda. Jabari Smith Jr. has the highest ceiling. Now, I know all you Jalen Green fans are just going to yell at me. Guess what? You are wrong. I'm not wrong. You want to know why? You can't teach size. And you can't teach size with athleticism.
I mean, bro, hold on. But, Chris, if you're talking about Jabari had the highest ceiling, then what is his ceiling then?
I just wish he wasn't in Houston, but like I've said this before and people thought it was a knock. Joe Smith out of the University of Maryland had a phenomenal career. The problem is he never could stick around with a team long enough to really develop into a regular everyday player. Like, Jabari Smith takes that type of size and athleticism, right? And is even actually more athletic. He can actually stretch the ball more. Like, we are looking at Jaren Jackson Jr., but probably more athletic, which means you're going to get a 20-8, maybe 20-9, up and down, 3 threes a game. Like, it's going to be phenomenal. The biggest issue is he's got those hands that like to foul, and that's just something he's going to have to learn to overcome with time. All right, we're going to go ahead and let Jeff go. We've got Brooklyn Netcast up here. We will then go around the room for final takes. I'll pare down the board just so I could talk with some of my friends from Clubhouse back like the old days. All right, so we'll go to Jess first. We'll go to Brooklyn Netcast. We'll go around the room for last thoughts, and then we're just going to have a basketball convo. Jess, go ahead. Last talk.
Shout out to you. And I want to hear that conversation. I just want to say, first and foremost, I think Sengun is a guy in Houston with the highest ceiling. Maybe that's the Raptor in me, but we move. And you know what? Thanks for the time. That has addressed some of my beef with you today. Like you did, extend the Raptors chat, even though half of it was slander. But I'm just going to land here. Listen, man, let's see what happens by the trade deadline, because nothing has changed about what's good about my team. OG is still OG. Pascal is still that guy. Masai is still one of the best GMs in the entire league. And y'all keep talking about Scotty, and check back in with me in a couple months. I'm out. Have a good day, guys.
All right, there you go. Have a good day, Jess. We all appreciate you being able to come up here and share your passion. Brooklyn, next, go.
Few things. First, the Nets fans weren't slandering Toronto. If anything, we were the nicest to them. Joel said they'd be the 4th seed, and I said they'd be fine. So I don't know why everyone's like, "Oh, the Nets fans are hating the Raptors." We were actually nicer than everybody else. But as for the wins, not taking them for granted, yeah, Edmund Sumner and Cam Thomas went up against a full Pacers team and smoked them. So, like, yeah, don't take any wins for granted, because no one thought that would happen. But, yeah, the Nets are really deep. They've won 8 of their last 10 games and are just playing good complementary basketball and playing high-level defense. They've been one of the better defensive teams since Jacques Vaughn's taken over in every, like, statistical category. If you watch the games, too, especially in the fourth quarter. So I want people to start, realizing, like, I know the narratives around the Nets this summer are obviously awful for good reason, too. I get it. But, like, they're a very good basketball team, and they still need one piece to put them over the hump, I think, to make them really, not like a first round exit or whatever, maybe, second round. But, like, they're getting closer, and they finally have some pieces that the KD and Kyrie can trust around them to produce night in, night out. Like, when TJ Warren's been playing really good basketball, much better than I would have ever anticipated this early. And Sumner's playing good, and Uta's playing good, and Joe's got a shot back, and Seth's having some really good games. And Claxton took a huge leap. He has 170 shots against him in the paint, and he's allowing like 51% field goal. So, statistically, he's been like top 6 rim protector this year. He's been really, really good for us, and I know everyone thinks he's too small and too skinny, but he's been outstanding. Like, the gap between this team defensively when he's here and when he's out is huge. So I think he's definitely been absolutely amazing for us. So I want people to start realizing, like, Nick Claxton, I said this earlier in the year, everybody called me crazy, but I seriously think Nick Claxton is better than Miles Turner, mostly because I just hate Miles Turner's game. I think he's an awful rebounder. I think the shot blocks are very deceiving to how good of an actual interior defender he is. He's really not that good. He just gets some nice blocks off guards every once in a while, and I really just, I think he's just a merchant of that stat. So, yeah.
Damn. Miles Turner, a block merchant.
well, block off guard merchant. I don't think he's a good, I think people forget there's a good shot blocker and a good rim protector.
I think the issue is he's never been a post defender. He's never been a rebounder. He's always been a terrific help side defender. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Clax is just as good as a help defender and better at guarding guards on the perimeter. The difference is Clax can't shoot.
Well, I said defensively, more was what I was aiming with. That, like, Clax is a better defender, but, like, the blocks will deceive people. But Clax is, like, so good defensively, and I don't think most people know it, because, like, we put him on, like, Luka and Dame in, like, the fourth quarter all the time. Like, he's our go-to and has been for, like, a year and a half now, 2 years. And, like, last year he held Dame and CJ to 2 of 12 shooting in the fourth quarter and locked them down and was winning us games, and he's done it this season from the perimeter. And then inside, he'll make game-winning blocks and game-winning rebounds and just perfect plays. And I know the free throw shooting sticks out too. That's really his main issue at this point. But, like, defensively, he's been so good, and without him, I think we might have 10 wins. Like, we might have 10 wins.
All right.
Maybe less.
I don't know. I will say this. The Brooklyn Nets are tied as the second hottest team in the league as of today. The only 2 teams that have 8-2 in the last 10, the Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets. The only team that beats them, the New Orleans Pelicans, at 9-1 in their last 10. Pay attention, y'all. The Nets are real. Just like Atlanta did last year when they fired Lloyd Pierce, it brought the team together because it opened up communication between a player and a coach in terms of KD and Jacques Vaughn that prohibited better communication throughout the entire roster. And it shows. You can literally go back and watch the next game from last month to this month, completely different. Appreciate it, Caleb. We will go now around the room. We will start with Darius to get your last take, 60 seconds, last take on the NBA. What do you got?
Hello again. Shout out to everybody in the space. Shout out to Nelly. Shout out to Fahim. Yeah, so I just want to lyric some type of one quick point. Like I said, the Raptors are gonna be fine. I feel like they're gonna be you just need to work on their defense. That's the main issue. That's what I feel like it is. They're not being connected on defense. It showed last night. They did a better job, but they just weren't making shots. That's pretty much the down point of it. And they just got to be consistent. We haven't won 3 games in a row yet. We haven't had a good roster. We haven't had a key in and out of the lineup. So it's kind of like we need to be a consistent team in order to beat those good teams. If we just be losing to these bad teams like the Indiana Pacers, these other teams that are like our young teams, where nobody's gonna take us serious. So we just have to be a consistent habit, day in and day out. And Fred, another sliding with Fred and OG and Scotty. First of all, Scotty, I never had an expectation for Scotty this year. I just wanted him to just continue being better. I didn't expect him to be like a all NBA type of player. So I'm not those type of fans that are doing. I'm a very objective fan. I'm not gonna be all on the Raptors. Oh, they need to be trading everybody. They just gotta be consistent on defense, that's their main philosophy. Nick Nurse is not gonna get fired, guys. Stop with that slander shit. He's not gonna get fired. He's gonna be our coach, but he has some tendencies where he takes a little bit of timeouts. He needs to learn how to manage the game. Other than that, guys, shout out to you guys. That's it.
All right. Appreciate it, Darius, and thank you for finding us here. Continue to tap into Nelly and Fahim. They do a great job.
No worries, guys. Shout out to you guys.
All right. Next up, we'll go to Joel, the Dutch Nets fan. Joel, last take of the day.
Yeah, so I loved that you caught up the stats in regards to the hottest teams in the NBA right now. I feel like we're flying under the radar a little bit as well because we have a couple of good wins on Fridays often, and then on Monday when the sports shows are talking basketball, they never talk about us. When it's positive, like when we lose against the G League 76ers, and everybody talks about it. But that's okay. Let us fly on the radar. Let people not take us seriously as a potential contender. We're going to be fine. Maybe make one move or two. I think I'm happy that there's no drama and we're just winning basketball games. So go Nets and let's beat the Wizards tonight.
All right. Appreciate it. Next up, we'll go to Anthony. What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's up? How y'all doing, man?
I'm good. What's up in the world of college, man?
Oh, well, tonight, actually, LeBron James' son and Carmelo Anthony's son plays ball tonight. It's the 20th anniversary of LeBron and Carmelo debut on ESPN against highly talented Oak Hill Academy back in the day. So they play on ESPN2 tonight, so make sure y'all check that out. It's a lot of young talent in this game tonight, so make sure y'all check them out.
All right, appreciate it. Ray, make sure you follow Ray here. Make sure you follow Playbook Sports. 60 seconds, last take on basketball or the Heat.
Man, honestly, if you want the truth, I feel like they're gonna punt on the season. It's just the way it is. You go in with what you have. I don't think we have a lot of chips in our war chest, and I don't think there's anything that they can do to make a big move to make themselves actually competitive with the top guns in the East and even the guys coming out of the West. Other than that, if you want my honest opinion, I think if the Heat don't make a deep run into the playoffs, which I don't think they will, then you have to start looking forward to the future. And if that means getting rid of Kyle and getting rid of Jimmy and trying to surround Tyler and Bam with talent to make an offense that works around those two guys, and that's what you have to do. But other than that, like you said, make sure y'all follow me. Make sure y'all follow Playbook Sports. We do post-game spaces with the Heat after every Heat game. We talked about not doing one tonight, but honestly, at this point I changed my mind and we're going to do it. So I appreciate y'all letting me come up here. Chris, Nat, everybody, Malika, I'm really looking forward to the conversation y'all are fixing to have. Go Heat.
Appreciate it, Ray. Barkai, 60 seconds, last take of the day.
Yeah, appreciate you, Chris, everybody up here. The Knicks have won 4 in a row. And, I know a lot of people want us to tank, but I think there's a positive here. They've won 4 in a row, but they've won 4 in a row by playing the kids more minutes, which shouldn't be such a foreign type of concept. But, given the situation we've been, I think it's a very good thing that these young kids are starting to get burned and we're starting to get wins with them, not in spite of them. So, yeah, let's see what happens on Wednesday. We got the Bulls on a back-to-back, basically, and let's see if the kids keep playing well.
All right, and make sure you say hello to the better half, and make sure that she's not getting too down if the Knicks happen to lose. You know who I'm talking about because she likes coleslaw, and you will too.
I'll see. She might come up on the space tomorrow. Let's see.
All right. Appreciate it, Bonkai. Caleb, Brooklyn Netcast, phenomenal follow here on Twitter. Congratulations on almost hitting 25K. Last thoughts for today.
Last thoughts. Yeah, win the Wizards game tonight and really start stringing together wins as a full lineup because we haven't seen our full team pretty much at all this season. So we don't know if Claxton will play, which against Porzingis would be a nightmare because that would mean Day'Ron Sharpe and Markieff Morris on him probably. But yeah, just win this game and then we have off till Friday. So we don't play till Friday after this. So there would be a nice few days of rest for Nets fans and the players and really allow the team to start scheming up what they want to do because I know you talked about Ben maybe coming off the bench for a little bit earlier on before the space when we're talking about it in the replies. So, yeah, I want them to figure all those things out in the stretch. But just win tonight and, yeah, the much-needed rest for the guys. They've been KD and Royce are leading the league in minutes right now. So, yeah, we just need this rest and to pull off this win.
Before you go, legitimately, KD, top 5 MVP, yes or no?
I got to say yes because he's been so great for us defensively outside of like 2-3 games. And offensively, every single time we need him to come through, he has. He's doing everything he did last season when everybody was saying he was top 2, top 3 until he got hurt. And he's being even better defensively this season. So I can't see a world where you can't say he's top 5 MVP if he's doing everything at the same level, but even better defensively. And he's so efficient right now. With 3 balls, been lacking a little bit. But like inside, I feel like every time he gets the basketball in a post or in the paint, or anywhere in the mid-range for the matter, it's been going in. And it's timely buckets. Like every time in the fourth quarter, outside of maybe one game this season, he's shown up. So I can't see saying no, especially with the Nets searching for the 3 seed, maybe sooner than later with the Cavs being there. So, yeah, maybe if we elevate like 1 or 2 more games, I think it'll be more consensus that like, oh, yeah, Nets are 3rd seed. They've been like so much has happened with like a coaching change. And there's been so much in and out of the lineup that it'd be hard to deny him that. So I think he's right at like 5-6 right now.
I agree. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't alone, so I'm not sounding crazy when I do say that. Because when I do look at it, we are viewing the future of the NBA, and the future of the NBA will always win out over the past, except for the last grasp. And I think this might be the very last season where we will see Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, and the likes of those names that we've grown accustomed to for the last decade be the preeminent names of preseason MVP favorites. I think we have now entered firmly into the transition where Luka, Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, and those who are younger are going to be starting to mention. I appreciate it, Caleb. All right, up next, I have 3 people who met me on Clubhouse and from day one there has followed me through our collaborative process and growing. And I also have one person who also found us there who will give you the truth and objective opinion from how we've grown and developed 2 years ago till today. So I'm speaking of my friends Nat, Sean, and Malika, who we all met on Clubhouse. And I'm speaking of Mark Edwards of Monstar Labs, who we also met on Clubhouse. Now, this is really an interesting thing because we don't get to talk basketball the way we used to because we've succeeded and grown. Like, I'm just being honest. So the very first thing that I want to say is we are a quarter of the way into the season, and I still have the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors meeting in the finals. My 2 backup teams are now the New Orleans Pelicans, and still the Milwaukee Bucks. So I've only changed one of my top 4 teams. I want to know, Nat, Sean, and Malika, what your thoughts are a quarter of the way into the season. And then we're going to ask Mark to go ahead and give his thoughts on what he's seen from the outside, knowing us from Clubhouse until today. And we'll just talk general NBA. So you can all have your mics open like we used to. There's only us 5 up here, so we're not going to have to worry about yelling at each other. Whoever wants to take it first, go ahead.
I defer to the ladies.
I'm good.
Somebody
I want
talk.
to just give a disclaimer. Nat is a terrorist on Twitter, and I just want to feel like I'm in a safe space and I can express myself without being attacked.
What? When did I miss the timeline?
Yeah, what did you do? Like, what happened?
I'm messing with her. She and my girl. I'm just messing with her.
What did I do?
I think I really think.
Hold on, did you hear the innocent voice? What did I
do?
Well, did you hear earlier, Mark? She of the Boston Celtics fame came out today and said she was also a Raptors fan.
Oh my God!
Oh my.
Just because
that's an odd couple.
Pascal Siakam is a really good player. I can't like Pascal Siakam.
I like Pascal Siakam. I remember him at New Mexico State. You ain't seen me say, "Ooh, man, these Raptors are my second team."
Oh my God!
True story.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
So before I even touch on any of that stuff, I want to give everyone in the room a heads up that there's something on the horizon that I don't know if a lot of you have really paying attention to or noticed, but the next phase of like superstar like basketball is on the way, and he probably will be in the NBA in 3 years. His name is Cameron Boozer. Okay. And I had the privilege, I flew to Atlanta for 36 hours to watch him play against, my high school team that I trained and developed or whatever, Wheeler High School, and I got the number 1 player in the country there. And a kid named Isaiah Collier, who's going to USC next year. This kid is 15 years old, legitimate 15 years old. He's 6'10", and he did some things on the basketball court that I've never seen before in my life. And I saw Michael Jordan in high school. I saw Michael Jordan catch a pass from out of bounds, jump straight up in the air, turn in the air, and take a jump shot from the top of the key. He didn't come down. This kid, Cameron Boozer, he's what's his daddy name? Carlos Boozer.
Carlos.
Yes, he is everything. He is better than LeBron at the same stage.
I think he's the only 15-year-old who had 100% rating on 24/7 too.
Yes, he is 100%. He probably get a 110. He's that good offensively, defensively. He jumps out of the gym. He did something I've never seen before. We have an elite big who's going to USC as well. His name is Arrington Page. He's probably going to be a one and done kid. He's 6'10", 6'11", and Cam tried to post him. Cam spinned off him, so now AP's in front of him, denying the pass. He quickly cut back door, and he was open by 1 step, and AP is right there with him. They threw a chest pass to him that kind of got to like his shoulders. The ball came to him. He didn't take another step. He just jumped straight up in the air and dunked it. So he dunked a pass that was literally at his waist. I've never seen that before in my life. I saw Len Bias. I saw Michael Jordan. I saw the greats early. I've never seen that play before in my life. As a soft 3-point jumper, he blocks shots, he rebounds, he talks, has a good head on his shoulders, no bad body language. At 15 years old, I'm telling you, matter of factly, this kid is better than LeBron James at the same stage.
All right,
it's not even a comparison.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Cameron Boozer. And by the way, he has a brother who's a two-sport athlete.
He deserves to be a 5-star as well. He's
in basketball and in baseball.
Yeah, he's very good.
All right. Hey, look, I'm all for it. I've heard words. I haven't seen any tape, but if you're saying it, I'm gonna believe it. Let me go up to Nash, Sean, and Malika so that y'all can say hello, especially Malika, who has yet to say anything. Quarter of the season in, guys. What do y'all think? Go to Malika first.
I feel like quarter of the season in, I would say some of the disappointments I have is Clippers starting off the way they have, and with Kawhi, his knee is more deteriorated than people were expecting at this point, maybe, or I don't know. Like, I'm just holding out hope that Kawhi is in a shell of himself. I really like what I'm seeing from the Celtics. I just think that, but I do think a hump they need to get over, and that is beating the Warriors convincingly. I feel like the Warriors have their number, but they are the champions. So I've been seeing tweets where people were surprised that the Warriors beat them. They are the champions. At the end of the day, they are the champions. Some teams are not reflective of the record. I love the way that the surprise the Jazz were earlier in the season. I'm understanding the Chris Paul slander a little bit more, although I'm not on the hate Chris Paul train yet, but I do respect and understand it more now. My Nets are not making news off the court every week, no anymore. So I am excited about that. And we're a quarter way to the season, which means the NFL season, like January, come around. Soon we'll be at the end of the NFL season, and we'll be in the playoffs. People, tend to start watching around Christmas. So it's interesting. Like, for us, we've been watching diehards. We've been watching the NBA since the beginning of the season. You're going to have people starting to watch Christmas. So for them, this would be their first time looking at some of these teams. And for some of these teams, they would have worked out their kinks by then. So I think that the best is yet to come still.
All right. Sean, Nat, what do you think?
Well, number one, I think we're going back and forth with the Golden State Warriors fans, because they kind of set it up where they're like, Wiggins isn't playing. So if y'all win, we didn't have Wiggins, but they won. So they're like, yeah, but we still had Steph, Dre, and Clay, which was my whole point. And they have Jordan Poole, so they have a really good team still. And the matchup is still a really good matchup, but for them to say they don't have Wiggins, but then I can't say, well, Al Horford is a pretty big deal especially for a matchup like that. I can't say that, or how Robert Williams helps us out. Those guys set picks for us like crazy. Those guys help get us open. Those guys help, Tatum and Brown a lot. And then we have to roll out Luke Cornett and mess with that lineup. It makes a big difference. So, you mean to tell me Luke Cornett can stick with Draymond Green? You mean to tell me that, even though that I know that Grant Williams is a really good player, he's not the other two I just named. So, but he can stick with Draymond Green. It plays a part in why we didn't play our game, but I'm not going to sweat that game. They need that game. I think they went from 11th to 8th. We're still number one, and we still have a lot to build on and still get better when our guys come back. So I didn't really look at that game too much like other people have. But again, I have the luxury. I can do that, so they still can play better, but I'd like to see us and evaluate us when our full team is back. But basketball is a game of matchups, and that's a bad matchup when you don't have your two most important bigs. If you don't have your 4 and your 5, I think against the Golden State Warriors, you are probably going to struggle. That's how I feel about that.
Rob Williams is coming back.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily trust that he's 100% or ever will be 100%.
He should wait until after Christmas at least. Where do you think he should come back now?
I think he should be traded.
Robert Williams?
Yes, because his body is not going to hold up at that 5 position long term. And it's not because I don't like him as a player. I think he's great, but it's about his health. If you think about it, look at every single year of Rob Williams. There's always an issue with his body. Every single year. He cannot play a full season, and he's banging with bigs. He's having to, and the way he defends, and he's coming out now, to the perimeter and everything. His body can't hold up like that. So I'm concerned because of his health, not because of his play. So I don't know what can be done. I don't want us to believe that he can play a full season or he's going to be good for the future. But I just want us to plan better for that, because we tend to do this when it comes to bigs. I'm glad we have one that we rely on and everything. But the problem is we rely on him and he can't play a full season, and then he's missing games. So I would like a more durable center and a guy that's preferably a little bit bigger and can defend, because other than that, it's going to be a problem every season.
Sean, like Boston's up top. I look up at them, and I don't really see a great matchup for the Sixers. In fact, when I look up at it, I only see one team that actually has a great matchup. That's Milwaukee. Cleveland and Brooklyn, I think, are a puncher's chance. What can we do to beat these Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference?
Well, the only thing we can do is we can all become Bucks fans, because I agree with you. That's the only team that I can think that can take them down. I will say that if Chris Middleton were healthy, Milwaukee wins the title last year. But you know what? That's not the world that we live in. We live in the world where Boston won the Eastern Conference and Golden State won the championship. I'm just looking at some things. Memphis, Cleveland, Denver, Phoenix, Brooklyn, Sacramento, Philadelphia, Portland, the Clippers, Atlanta, Indiana, Golden State, New York, Utah, Dallas, Minnesota. All of those teams have a record within 4 games of each other or less. That's 16 teams. 16 teams are within 4 games of each other. Memphis is 3.5 games behind Boston for the best record in the league. And Minnesota, which is 19th, if you rank all the teams, is 7.5 games behind the best record in the league. The amount of parity in this league this year has been, I have not seen, maybe ever. There are a number of teams that can legitimately talk themselves into thinking they can win the championship. Now, how many of them can actually win the championship is another story. But there's a number of good teams. There's a number of teams that can talk themselves into it. As I said it earlier, you're either chasing ping pong balls, you're chasing championships, or you're mid. Now, there are levels of mid, but mid is still mid. And the teams that realize what they are, the sooner you realize who you are and what your goal should be, the better your season will be. That applies to like every single fan base. Like we're coming up on Christmas, and by Christmas, basically, you are who you are, unless you pull a Celtics from last year and just like take off after January 6th. But this season is going to be fun, and it's like Homeboy said, the Rockets fans said, like, listen, if you take any team seriously, they will beat you. So I don't want to hear anyone talking about, oh, we only beat this team, but it's only the Pistons, or it's only the Spurs, or it's only like the Spurs just beat the Heat, or it's only the Magic. No, let's not take any team seriously, and let's just try and enjoy the season.
And actually, not taking teams seriously, I think, is what a lot of people are doing to the Memphis Grizzlies. Like it's the gritty, it's the dancing. They lose bad, and when they lose, it's bad. But they're really good. Buy or sell the Grizzlies is a legit contender. I want to go to Mark first, then we'll go to everybody else, because I honestly think that when I'm looking at the Western Conference, like I don't trust Denver because I don't trust Jamal Murray. I don't trust Denver because I don't trust Michael Porter Jr. I don't trust Denver because I don't trust Contavious Caldwell-Pope. I don't trust Denver because I don't trust Bones Highland. You know who I trust on Denver? The dude who won 2 MVPs.
Joker.
Maybe Aaron Gordon on 3 nights a week. that's just not a team that screams to me anything better than the Phoenix Suns. Buy or sell Memphis, Mark, and then we'll go to Nat and Sean and Malika, because I think people are sleeping on them.
I'm selling on Memphis because I don't know. I like John Morant. I just don't think he has the correct pieces around him. I think he needs another shooter. I don't feel it. I don't necessarily know that his temperament is such that he's ready to win. I think he's in the mode right now, whereas he's having a good time. He's playing for a competitive team. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point where I feel like, you got to stop the dancing and you got to actually, really focus on the hoop side of it. Maybe you dance afterwards. It's like Steph and them, they didn't start dancing until they got a chip. You know what I'm saying? They celebrated a little bit, but I think he's skipping steps. And I think that's a mental approach that could come back to haunt you if you're not careful. So, that being said, I don't know that they have the same success that they had last year. I think they make it to the second round of the playoffs, and then, that's it. The Denver team is one that intrigues me because I'm not sure what they were thinking about when they signed Michael Porter Jr. to that max contract. I mean, his numbers were deservedly so, but he has a degenerative back issue. It's only going to get worse. And anyone that knows about someone having back problems, it's horrible. It's the most painful thing in the world. It makes you want to, no pun intended, it literally makes you want to end your life. Like, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to be here anymore type of thing. Not literally killing yourself, but like you're in such pain. Your movements are very, very limited. And it's awful. So them knowing this about him, I'm not sure why they decided to give him that max contract, which is going to make him impossible to move. So they're going to have to eat that, Bones Highland is a highlight show. I'm not sure if he's ready for the pressures of playoff basketball, because I mean he's going to have to dial down his skill set a little bit and be able to just be, just definitive in what he does. Of course, we trusted the back-to-back MVP. Definitely top 5, one of the best players in the league. He'll go down as possibly a top 15 player, top 20 player of all time if he continues to grow. Jamal Murray, I hear you when you say you don't trust him, but you definitely have to pay attention to his skill set. His skill set is amazing. He's done an amazing job of getting himself back, into the league. His skill set is crazy. Definitely Aaron Gordon is somebody you can trust, because you know what you're going to get from him every night. You're going to get crazy energy. You're going to get that energy on defense. Now he's guarding multiple positions and so forth. I like them. Julius Randle is an all-star. I saw your tweet. Yeah, stop that.
Stop what? Come on.
I don't trust Julius Randle.
You don't have to trust him for him to be an all-star.
He's right,
But if he was doing this in any other uniform and he was on anyone else, this wouldn't be a discussion. But we know why. We know why it is.
Well, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a longtime Knicks fan. I was there when Ken the Animal Bannister was there. You know what I'm saying? So, Rory Sparrow, I went through those years, Michael Ray Richardson. So I definitely get it. I just don't know if I trust him because I spent half a season with the Knicks. And I just don't know if he plays winning basketball. Yeah, he could be an all-star. I can't take that away from you guys. He could be an all-star based on numbers. And if you do those kind of numbers in New York City, popularity-wise, I think you'll get the votes. Possibly the coaches might look at it if the Knicks finish, if they're, if they continue to win and get over 500 and so forth. That's an intriguing team, especially when you're in a situation where everybody hates Tom Thibodeau. I don't know why. It's disgusting.
It's not disgusting. I can explain it to you, but we don't have time.
No, we have time. I'll tell you one quick thing about Tom Thibodeau. When he first got the job, the man lived in the training facility. He did not get an apartment, house, condo, anything. He lived there. He had all his clothes there. He lived there. He didn't I don't think y'all understand. He lived in the training facility so he could watch film, so he could put in so much extra work on his job that he knew was a high pressure job situation. Someone that sacrifices that much of themselves for a job, for a city, for a culture, you have to support him. And it sucks that people don't do that. And he's a winner. He is a winner.
So the problem is he was watching all that film, and yet it took him a year to realize, hey, maybe I should play all these young guys on my team because they can give me the defense I'm looking for. Why did it take him a year? Well, it took him a year.
He played Emmanuel. He played Emmanuel quickly immediately.
No, I'm talking
because you know why?
He played Alec Burks at point guard last year for 50 games.
But you have to play Alec Burks.
No, you didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
No. You sign him for that amount of money, and you got to understand that as an NBA player, your contract means they have to play you at a certain amount of minutes because they have to keep the value of your contract up.
Didn't have to play point guard. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Alec Burks is not a shooting guard because Alec Burks don't know how to come down off pin downs, catching curls, or whatever, and score. He has to have the ball in his hand. So
he's a player. That's what he is.
He's a wing, but he's not a point guard.
He's a player. He plays.
Okay, so but with quickly being so young, you can't just throw a young player into Madison Square Garden and tell him go ahead and ball out. It just doesn't happen in the Garden. It's never happened in the Garden.
But you know what that means, Mark? That really just means it's an indictment on Leon Rose.
Here's the thing. I think the Leon Rose thing is backfiring. It's backfiring because the assumption was he would be able to negotiate with all these teams and get all these players to come here. You got World Wide West, on staff as well. But guess what? The backfire is that those guys got amazing deals for their clients and so forth for so long that maybe now people just don't want to work with you. Maybe now people don't want to give you that deal that they had to give you before because we don't want to make you better. We don't want to get you better. There could be some resentment there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think it's backfired a little bit, but I'm a Tom Thibodeau fan because I remember what he did in Chicago. I remember that he gave Derrick Rose an opportunity and gave him another opportunity, and he's shown his worth. So right. I don't know. We've had terrible coaches in New York. Let's be clear.
Let me get Nat and Malika in here, and I want to ask a different question as we get ready to wind down to Nat and Malika. Boston's up top, New Orleans up top. We talked about some of these better teams. Milwaukee's going to be there if Chris Middleton is healthy. They're going to be great. I think Cleveland, like I said, has got a puncher's chance. Give me the dark horse. Like every team in the Western Conference that is in the play-in is at 500 or above. Minnesota's at 500, and they're in the 11th seed. Yep. The East is different. Toronto and Miami are both under 500. But there's no faith in the Chicago Bulls whatsoever. Like even Bulls fans don't have faith. And Washington is Washington from last year. So I think the East is set, barring injury. Give us the dark horse. Who should we watch?
Well, for the West, I'm gonna say, watch out. And it sounds crazy. Watch out for the Lakers. I'm gonna keep with that. I think that as long as Anthony Davis is healthy, and we stop trying to blame everything on Russ and realize he actually was not the main issue on that team, I think that they have something. What I do want to see is they do need a trade. That is real. But I think that with the right trade, and I see that they might try to get what's his name, Bogdanovich from Detroit. I think that that's who they're trying to go after or something. That helps them tremendously if that can happen. So I'm watching the Lakers. I like what they look like. As far as the East, I think it is pretty much set with how it's going to look. Chicago does not have a chance because they have the wrong pieces on that team. Also, Lonzo Ball not being there is a huge problem, for how that team is constructed. I think they need to blow that team up and just start over, see if you can get in the the Wembanyama, sweepstakes or something. Get something next year, but let's start getting rid of those players because this team is constructed. They're not going anywhere. So that's how I see it. And I also did agree with Mark when he was speaking about Memphis. Memphis is not like a championship team. They're a fun team, and John Moran is not there yet. I think he is great. I think he's fun to watch, but that's just what it is. They are fun. I just don't think they have what it takes to take that next step, at least for the next couple of years.
Like it. Malika Walker, ladies and gentlemen, put a poll out. All right. She put it out about an hour ago. You should vote in this poll. What she does is fantastic. She actually goes back in time to help bring you some more fandom. She just got off of a show with my friends and her friends and your friends, once you hear them, Al at Half Court Heat and Derek Stein talking about the Allen Iverson era 76ers. She put a poll up here because it's time to talk Boston. And no offense to you, KG, Paul Pierce, Rondo fans, I could care less. I want Bird. More Bird is better because these young cats forgot how good this man was at the game of basketball. So I voted for Bird. I urge you to vote because if you never watched Bird, you are missing out on one of the most beautiful shots in the NBA history. If you didn't see Bird, you don't understand how he and Magic Johnson saved the league. So make sure you tap in, shoot a vote, shoot a follow. Malika, your thoughts. Who are the dark horses?
In the West, I just see Memphis as like a playoff team, but they'll get out on first or second round. So I don't see them as somebody that can really go deep. I agree with one of the Lakers if AD stays healthy. And that's a if. That's a big if. They're like an AD injury away from not making this surge that they can make. I think AD healthy, with him healthy, he brings a level of confidence to the Lakers with the rest of the team. That to me, he's the true leader on the floor of this team. I know LeBron is there, but you need AD healthy. If AD is healthy, pretty much, and he's going to have those games he takes off, or that he's low management. He's going to have those games, but if he's reasonably healthy, the Lakers can make that push and they could be a dark horse. But I'm going to say it's a team that's counted out every year. I like the way the Blazers look. They're interesting to watch. Right now, they're going towards their record. They're going towards they're about to break 500 if they keep up what's going on with them. But I will pay attention to them in the second half, the rest of the season, because they could be something. But are they something that's like the Grizzlies, just more seasoned? We'll see. But I think the Lakers or the Blazers. On the East is pretty much set. But I think if my team gets the trade that it needs, who knows? But right now, Boston, and the Bucks are the top two teams in the league. Cleveland, I like Cleveland, but I don't see them getting past the Bucks or the Celtics. I think my team needs a trade or two to get past the Bucks and the Celtics. Really, the Celtics. That team, they own the Eastern Conference right now. And I think that we definitely need to trade it to, because we're not there yet. And we need our synergy together. Sixers, I don't know, Chris. What does your team need to get past the Celtics?
For Daryl Morey to be fired.
And Hawks, nah. The Hawks need something.
They need a win.
They need a win.
They need to fire Lloyd Pierce again. They need to fire Lloyd Pierce again. That's what it is. Go over to Indiana and fire Lloyd Pierce a second time. That's what you need to do, Atlanta.
But look at the Knicks sitting there in the 8th place above the Raptors. I think the Raptors have a climb up, but I don't know about our Heat. The Heat is surprising so far this season.
Not for me.
Not for you? Okay.
Not for me either. They need to be.
I didn't think they would be like this. Like
I didn't think they'd drop out of the top 6.
No, I didn't either. I didn't think they would be in the. I didn't. Do we think the Heat is going to last like this? I mean, what could turn the Heat around? That's a better question.
To ship people out and start.
Well, look, if they can, you're kind of cutting in and out, Nat. I want you to come back in. You there?
Hold on, can you hear me?
Yep, got you now. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, so the Heat, like, to me, like, it's gonna consistently be what it is right now with them. 1 minute Bam scoring 30, the next when he scores like under 20, it's like, well, Bam needs to do better or be better. They don't have enough. They're not gonna scare anybody. They're going to be beat in the playoffs. But then you have to look past that because we know they're gonna lose, right? With this roster, the way it's constructed, they're not going to beat Milwaukee. They're not going to beat Boston. This is just the fact of it, So then what do you do? Because they didn't get better from last year. It's pretty much the same roster from last year. And other teams have gotten a lot better, including Milwaukee and Boston. So then what are you going to do? So next year, you're going to roll in the same way? You're going to hope in that if 34-year-old Jimmy Butler, or if he's 34 this year, I don't know. But, like, he's getting older, is Bam your star? Is Hero that guy? What else are they going to do? And to me, they stay pat too much. And Pat Riley he wasn't like that before. He was quick at the trigger. And right now he's staying pat. And I think that's the worst time. It's no other time than now that's bad. So I think they need to make moves. I don't believe in the Heat.
All right. Butler turned 33 this season. Sean. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Nat.
No. Yeah, there you go. I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Sean, anything on the Heat, and who are your dark horses on the East and West? And then I'm going to tell what I think about the Heat, because I think it's glaring. There's one move that's pretty glaring, and I think we don't talk about it.
I mean, so I actually posted my preseason predictions on the Jumbotron. I had the Heat in the play-in, and they will stay. I just don't think they can overcome the Kyle Lowry situation, Duncan Robinson being a complete non-factor in the playoffs, Tyler Hero being a one-way player, Bam not taking the leap offensively as some people thought he would. He's arguably the best defensive player in the league, but too inconsistent offensively in the playoffs. So I think they are where they are. In terms of sleepers in the Western Conference, I agree with Nat with the Lakers. I actually had the Lakers in the top 6, and everyone laughed at me. And I said, "Oh, this team as currently constructed is not making the top 6, but they're making a trade, and they will make the trade. And as soon as they can squint and look and be like, oh, wait a minute, we actually have a chance. This shit is wide open. They're going to make the deal. They're just biding their time." The other team I think I have as a sleeper in the West is actually Denver, because I actually believe in Jamal Murray, but I also know that an ACL is a 2-year injury, and April 12th, 2023 will be 2 years. So by the time that rolls around, I think you'll see Jamal Murray being back to being Jamal Murray. And in the Eastern Conference, to your point, Chris, like it almost seems like it's set. But if one team, I would say, if you want to say sleeper to do what? Make the finals?
To be more competitive and make a deep run into the playoffs.
The sleeper is the team across the river.
All right.
Because they have a particular guy. Now, unfortunately, that guy plays with 2 complete head cases, but as long as they have that guy, and listen, I put Real American money on their win total over, which I believe was 50.5. So they're figuring it out. Jacque Vaughn has them figured out. I actually watched the game. I actually watched their game on Saturday against Indiana. They got some pieces. So it's just a matter of how far Kevin and Kyrie can take them, because I am not holding my breath on number 10. Never have, never will. But so those are my sleepers. And the last thing I'll say is that the Knicks and the Hawks both have the same issue, which is the wing they took in the 2019 NBA draft is not where they wanted him to be at this point.
All right, I feel you.
Can I say something real quick? I just
go ahead.
I think with the Nets, though, and I've even said this on our spaces, Saint can attest to this, is that I think we all say the same thing. We need a big that can rebound. That is a must for us, and we do not have that. And until I feel like us not having that is a problem, and we're going to need that to really make a good run. We're going to need I think we need a trade that gives us that. And I don't know if Sean Marks could get that done.
Chris, can I just piggyback off of something Sean said really quick before you?
Yeah.
So I forgot to talk about Denver, but in Brooklyn. So I think it's taken for granted. Kevin Durant's taken for granted every year. This man has had like season-ending injuries before, and this man can give you 38 and 8 every night. And it doesn't get talked about enough. You guys really got to stop with the propaganda and all those the bullshit tweets and everything. The way that this man approaches the game at the age he is and with the injuries he's had is remarkable, and it needs to be talked about more. And he should be, wherever you want to put him for MVP, but you need to talk about him, because all that stuff that happened in the offseason just for you guys to fire Steve Nash, saying that Steve Nash wasn't the problem, everybody else was, but then you're playing better, you got rid of Steve Nash. So at some point we got to have some accountability talks, about that. But I just want to shout out Kevin Durant. He's one of my favorite players. He's amazing, and it doesn't get talked about enough. And also with Denver, I don't believe in Michael Porter Jr. I don't believe in him. I think that he needs a lot of work, and I think that he's not there yet. I get when he works, when he scores and his offense and everything like that. I get it, but he needs a level of work that has not happened yet. And Jamal Murray, even when he is playing well and at his best, I thought he was still inconsistent defensively, and I thought he was inconsistent offensively. He's a guy that can give you 40, and then he goes on these streaks where he's giving you 15, 16, and 17, and that the consistency isn't there. So I think Denver has more problems than I was willing to admit. But I want to see if they can turn it around. I do believe in Joker, because how do you not believe in a 2-time MVP? And I definitely believe in Aaron Gordon, because he's actually having a career year this year. So he deserves a lot of, give him his flowers. So yeah, that was all I want to say, Chris. Thanks.
Yeah, and I've gotten plenty of DMs. The reason why I don't trust Jamal Murray, Sean alluded to it, tearing an ACL. That's not a 9-month thing, right? That's a 9-month thing with 7 months rehab, with rehab throughout the season, and then usually in that second season you come back. 2, I've made this point multiple times. To me, he defaults to a guard who shoots and then passes. I want to see him default to a guard that passes, then shoots. And then the argument is, well, you run the offense through Jokic, and he's the point guard, and I understand that. But there's a lack of ball movement that Denver could have that would make KCP better, right? That would make Jeff Green better. That would make Bones Highland better. And that's his job. That's not Jokic's job. Jokic's job is to be the floor. And that floor is damn near 60% win team. Murray's there to take them over the hump. That's the truth. And a lot of people don't want to realize that truth. And I don't know if Jamal understands that that's his job.
But Michael Porter Jr., my thing with Michael Porter Jr. is, what would you have done when his contract was up and they gave him that?
Let him walk.
Just let him walk. That's why.
Let him walk.
Or I would have waited. I would have waited a year to give him the extension at the very minimum.
Let him walk is exactly like there was a time where they probably could have traded him when he was on a streak of performing well, where that's where they got the consideration of giving him that contract. I would have looked for a trade partner, because I just don't think that they're doing it based off of potential. I don't think he's gonna get there. I just don't.
Oh, I think he can. The reason why I say let him walk is it was a strong arm tactic. Like I'm part of a GM idea that, like, if you are a player and you are wanting a max, you are going to buy in what we are building. And everything that I've heard was more about buying into what he is. That's just all I'm saying. I'm going to let Eddie talk for a few seconds. He's been patient. Eddie, real quick, 60 seconds, and I want to get ready to wrap it up.
Thanks. I appreciate that. But I just wanted to, I guess my question can't be answered in 60 seconds, but I was trying to circle back on what Sean said about sleepers in the sense that I'm trying to understand. I think he mentioned Lakers being a sleeper, but I'm trying to understand the definition of the Lakers being a sleeper. Like, what's the expectation?
I see. Hit him up on the timeline. He'll respond, and you guys can have a great conversation after the game. If you guys want to know, then make sure you shoot Sean a follow so you can keep up and follow up with what this discourse will be. I'm going to close on this. Like, the Washington Wizards are to blame for the Miami Heat struggles. That's right. It's really weird when you hear it. But the Washington Wizards signed a player from San Antonio by the name of Davis Bertans. And they signed him to a 5-year, $80 million deal. I remember the moment that deal broke that I just lost it. I hadn't laughed so hard in so long that I almost sprained my larynx. You were picking a 6'10", unathletic, non-rebounding, non-defending guy who has one skill and paying him $80 million over 5 years. And set the market for one Mr. Duncan Robinson.
I knew that's where you were going.
Duncan Robinson then proceeded to sign a 5-year, $80 million contract.
No,
$90 million.
90
With $90 million. My bad, $90 million. And he is nothing more than Davis Bertans minus 3 inches. Now, those are needed skills. I'm not knocking them on what they do. But the Miami Heat, they have the tightest cap history in the history of the NBA. Nobody micromanages their cap more than Pat Riley. And this 5-year, $90 million deal put them in a hole that they have yet to be able to dig themselves out of, because unlike what a lot of people want to admit, I have no problem admitting this. Tyler Hero is the best talent and prospect on the Miami Heat. Not Bam Adebayo. Bam is who Bam is. Can he be better? Yes. But you've seen him do great with Tyler Hero being the guard. That pick and roll action and two-man game that Tyler Hero initiates with Bam has made Bam the most effective Bam. Tyler Hero is 20 points, 7 boards, and 4 assists. Good for all top 50 in the NBA. He's getting better on defense and playing on an ankle injury similar to Scotty Barnes. But the Miami Heat can't do anything about it because they signed Duncan Robinson to a 5-year, $90 million contract. They had to end up signing Victor Oladipo to a 2-year contract at about $8.5 per. They were so cap-strapped that they couldn't even re-sign PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker. That's right. Duncan Robinson, 5-year, $90 million contract, wasted what could have been the best year for Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo because one Mr. Tyler Hero has arrived. Now, the Miami Heat have to sit back and pray that Pat Riley can somehow muster a trade of Duncan Robinson, Dwayne Dedmon, and a myriad of other people without giving up any future draft capital, of which they don't have any. And if they can't do that, then they ain't going to get that much better. And that bodes the same for Philadelphia. That bodes the same for Atlanta. And that bodes the same for Toronto Raptors. We are all a trade away from even having the temerity to think we can compete with Boston and Milwaukee. And if you are a fan of those teams that I had mentioned, you better take a deep breath because you're going to be disappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to warn you now. This is not going to be the trade deadline you think. It's going to be rocky. You better buckle up because it's going to be fun. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are out of here. I want to give a thanks to our sponsors, slamgoods.com. Head over to slamgoods.com. Use promo code HoopSpace to save 15%. And remember what I told you. Get that Zion t-shirt on sale for $20. It ain't going to be on sale long. And then you know what? The dude is literally going to be in the MVP conversation probably tomorrow on First Take. Shout out to our partners. Playback will be on Playback tonight, 8:30, covering the Oklahoma City Thunder game. If you are wanting to join me, go ahead and follow me now. I'll put the tweet back out there. It's going to be a little bit different, not going to lie, because I'm going to be moving back from swimming practice. But tonight, Miami, Indiana, Brooklyn, Washington, that's at 7. Atlanta, Memphis at 8 on NBA TV. Dallas hosts Oklahoma City. San Antonio hosts Cleveland, 8:30. I will start with Dallas and OKC. Portland and Minnesota at 10. Clippers, Celtics, 10:30 NBA TV. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. here. Peace out. Have a good one.